and welcome to episode 140 of the Strength Hammer podcast. That's right. There is 139 more episodes than we ever expected in this podcast at this point. And as you can see, we have the most handsome men in the entire Gym Warhammer universe all in one place for once.
The facial hair here is wow.
There's a lot
I
of
thought you were
facial...
going to say we have the most handsome man, then we have Alex.
No.
All of our facial hair is indeed 5-0.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, our facial hair is unmatched. Look at this. Look at this.
We have all the styles here. One of you should shave your mustache and go full Amish.
Go.
It's like we call it Chaos Dwarf around here.
That's right.
There's a lot of facial hair for the fact that none of us played dwarves recently.
That's pretty true.
Although two of us have dwarves with the full beard. So, Alex, do you have dwarves yet? Anyway?
I have dwarf models. So I was actually just talking to a friend about it. I want to make like a meme dwarf warband and paint all their beards rainbow colors.
We don't really...
Okay.
Just to spy dwarves. I'm not a dwarf person. I just want to spy dwarves.
Jeez. That's June, and Fit Hammer's got to go jump on the trend. Okay, I see how it is.
Going gay. No, it's for men's mental health, I swear.
That's fine. No, we do support all of our brothers and sisters here. I just got to harass Alex at every chance I get. So yeah, Neil, how's your lawn?
It is about... Where's the other hand? There it is.
Whoa.
This long? I don't know. Like it's a good... I think some strands of that grass are a good 12 inches at this point because went through the entire last week. I was off 3 days. Spent 3 days up in a camper with my kids at Cedar Point, riding roller coasters and junk with our neighbors and their kids. And so just got home, last night, and today is the only break I get, so it's got to get done today.
So you went from Warhammer tournament vacation to family amusement park vacation back to back.
Wow.
This man is living the dream.
Which one was more fun, Neil?
Full dad mode. Fun in different ways. That's all. Fun in different ways.
Yeah, sure. That's a correct answer.
Well, Alex, how about you? How's your lawn looking at this fine time?
Pretty similar to Neil's, actually. I cut it last week and just didn't have a chance. Honestly, this usually after a tournament weekend, I'm just quite busy with, and I actually got sick after the weekend as well.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious about that because no one else got sick.
Yeah, I was getting snuffles the Sunday, the last day of the event.
Okay.
I was like, I'll be fine. I'll get sleep, and then I woke up and I was feeling good. So just like a day and a half. It wasn't nothing bad.
You probably were the calmest on the alcohol. I mean, we weren't eating terrible at the event. No, not great, but
I think it may have something to do with the fact that I didn't sleep the night before we came to the event.
That's true. Yeah,
I slept a little bit, but we'll cover that when we cover that.
It's fair.
But the lawn is not cut. I'm actually planning to cut it right after this podcast.
I wish you luck because since we live 10 minutes apart, there's no chance of me cutting my grass because it is just soaked to the bone. And it's going to be a night. My yard's smaller than yours, Alex, and it would be a nightmare to get through. So Godspeed to you.
It didn't rain since morning, and the forecast says it's 10-20% the rest of the day. So I'm hoping the sun is kind of out. It's warm.
It's kind of out.
We'll see. I will go out, assess it. If it's not too damp, I'll go for it.
There you go. Well, good luck. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna just let my neighbors deal with the fact that my lawn is also 8 inches high right now, and but more frustratingly right now for me, for my lawn portion, the garden, I need to go weed. It's not overrun yet, but it's enough that it's bothering me. But if I go in there because it's all tilled and turned soil, I will just sink down in, and I'll probably whatever is trying to grow that I want to grow, I'll screw up. So I'm kind of just watching the weeds grow.
It's kind of embarrassing that all of us have just abandoned our lawn for the week.
Yeah.
It has. But you know what?
We had other conquests to fulfill.
We did. We had some mighty conquests. There's been some highs. There's been some lows. But first, the news. So, first up, as you can see on screen here, we have some Beastman Brayherds that are going to be coming out for some made-to-order soon. Speaking of which, we just had that made-to-order for High Elves. Did anybody get anything?
I barely play High Elves anymore, Chuck. I'm in the High Elf group chat, and it's just you nerding out about High Elves. I'm just like the goblin in the group. What's happening?
Neil
So
and
no.
Neil has a 3D printer, so absolutely not. So I did. I got everything I wanted. So
Well, every once in a while, there's an old school model that scratches my my itch, but none of those really.
yeah, honestly at this point I'm just going for collection. At this point, just having at least one of each sculpted that I can get my hands on without breaking the bank. So that's good. But yeah, the Beastman Bray Herd, these look good. I like the banner. That BSB is going to be a heavy ass banner. Being metal.
Oh, it's all metal.
It's
Yeah.
all metal. That
Didn't
banner's
think about it.
3 times as big as the Beastman holding it. So good luck to whoever gets that.
Dang.
Bringing back memories of trying to like base them appropriately on like the back of the base so that they don't tip one way or the other way or this, that, whatever.
Good old days.
Yeah. At least there's
Set them up on a rock. Yeah.
at least there's bigger bases now.
That's true.
And even more excitingly, boys, we did it. Match play guide
Yeah.
for the old world. And a big FAQ from all the rumors we've heard at the event, post event, and just going around right now. So, yeah, they're just looking at this article briefly. It's not a big article, but we got 9 factions, full arcane journals. It's out. My Beast of Chaos is on the way. We'll do the review show of that in the near future. Cathay is very soon. That's all it says. And I think there was a hint in here about possible future army. That's not anything that I'm hoping to be Dark Elves. Signs point to Dark Elves in my mind, but yeah, we're getting, what is it, a 48 page, because everything's 48 pages for them, match play guide. And what I'm excited is there's secondary objectives if you want. There's extra missions, and there's also stuff in here how to run events and how to do doubles.
I'm really excited for that.
Yeah,
Doubles event is the one that actually intrigues me the most.
Yeah.
I mean, Neil, this is good timing for your upcoming narrative to steal some of
It's
like
huge. It's
pieces,
huge, actually. Because I was just like, I heard that. I'm like, well, I guess we're not going to plan anything for about a month here. And hopefully it's not a month because we do have to start planning something at some point. So, but yeah, it's very aptly timed. So,
yeah, it's good. It's good. I'm just thrilled that we're getting it. I mean, it's been rumored for months and months now. But yeah, it should be lots of good stuff. I mean, obviously, we're all going to probably pick it up in some way or the other. Trying to think. I wonder if it's coming out before or after Grand Cathay, because Grand Cathay is it's the end of this month. It's pre-order for sure.
Yeah.
I'm guessing after. That would make sense. Make the most sense, at least.
Maybe. I know right now, like, there's no pre-orders this time of recording this weekend, because I think it was a 2-week for the GHB and some of the other stuff, and then that was a weird pre-order. I had to do 3 pre-orders last week, by the way. We're at the event. GHB, which is a 2-week, Beastman, which is a 1-week, and Made to Order, which is either showing up in 3 days or 3 months.
Right. I'm excited about this match play. I hope they still keep the vibe of Old World, where the most important thing is kill points, but then just add some more rules to balance out the armies.
Yeah, I'm hoping secondary objectives are just more like, hey, I want to theme my list to be like a monster slayer. So maybe my secondary objective is kill a monster and get an extra 50 victory points.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope so as well.
My hope is that some of the missions are unit type specific, like for things, right? So I want them to keep the kill points and everything, but what can you do with a mission to make my infantry unit that's useless have a role?
Right? That's cool.
That's true.
That would be.
I like that. Okay.
So whether it's infantry unit has to take the tower and hold the tower, whatever.
Yeah. Make me want to bring it.
Right. That would be nice if they encourage more varied play. Because right now it's just, what are the best lists? Things that have monsters, things that have cavalry, right? You haven't seen a heavy infantry list win anything, really.
Yeah.
I mean, that with the FAQ that's supposed to come out, which I assume the same time, but one of the rumors is we'll get second rank of fighting on infantry now.
That will be
that's great.
Phenomenal.
Yeah, that'd
be really good.
3 with spears, right?
3 with the spears.
Too bad we can't go back to the old days with the high elves and get 4.
Oh, I love that.
All of a sudden, infantry's back. Just that simple rule.
Yeah, that
hopefully the magic too. The thing we talked about.
Yeah, the magic of, was it 1 and 2 go +1, 3 and 4 are +2.
Yeah,
I'm all for
great.
that.
I would love that.
That's huge. That's huge. Makes magic harder to cast, less reliable. Makes your, I mean, I don't know if that makes your level 3s and 4s even more important, but now it's just like, whereas level 4, you had to take a level 4, you know, if you take a, I mean, how many lores of magic is it necessary to have 4 spells? If you like, there's usually 2 or 3 that you want, right?
Yeah.
So I think you're going to see level
lore
3s now
familiar.
become the thing that you want, not level 4s, right? Even if they do have an extra spell, right? So
Well,
that's just my guess.
Yeah, there's high elves too. Like we can be level 3, take our silvery wand. We can only cast 3, but we have 4 spells to choose from.
Right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I like that. I hope we see that in the FAQ.
Yeah, I'm hoping for some other things too. Like there's still some stuff needs clarified. So such as
do you think fanatics will get nerfed?
Oh, fucking hope so.
I think so. I think so.
I think, spoilers.
I think they should. Being a goblin player as well, like the fact that you can throw them out of combat and stuff, like you can be in combat and just like, I'll just put it right here. Like,
I was saying
at the same time, how are orcs and goblins actually doing in competitive play?
Yeah. Well, what I would say too, it's like without fanatics, orcs and goblins, I don't know that they work.
No, it's one of those things where it's, are they going to be conservative or more progressive with the nerfing and changing of things? Because you make infantry better, orcs and goblins might ramp up a little bit quicker than fanatics are way too powerful.
Right. Yeah. If they do that, nerf fanatics down. But like that's the only thing that I think keeps orcs and goblins even playable is the fanatics.
My only 2 changes I would want to see to them is, 1, they have to be released on your turn as the goblin, and I'm pointing towards Alex because he's the goblin player of this setting here. So it gives you more forethought of when you want to release them, and you have to kind of predict as opposed to just react to it and still be good. Then the second one is, I would like to be able to shoot them, like target them in shooting. I'm gonna waste a lot of shots with some of my stuff to try and kill those. Like, I mean, give them sure, count as skirmish -1. That's fine. Make it hard, but give me a shot to try and kill them if I'm, trying to.
Yeah. I think honestly, if they just did that, and you cannot release them if you are in combat or fleeing, I think releasing on a turn is fine, because that's what makes them good, right? Prevents you from charging me.
Okay, fair.
But I think I shouldn't be able to release them if I'm in combat, because that makes no sense.
That's true.
And if I'm fleeing, I shouldn't be able to release them. And you targeting them, that's fair. Because if you have a chance to target them, that means they already did their job. You just can clean them up.
Another thing is they got to be released to the front arc. All right.
Yeah.
Don't throw them out the side. Don't throw them out. Don't poop them out the back of the unit. Okay, like throw them out the front.
I don't,
just because it makes and again, I play this army, right? Because it makes me actually think about what I have to do with my unit.
That's true. You can position yourself in a way that when you release them, your opponent charging you have the front. Yeah, that's fair.
So there's a tactic there. So
and to be honest, I'd be okay if you released in combat, if it was you're also getting hit by them no matter what.
Oh,
risk reward on a goblin player, and I think no goblin player will ever complain about that. They'll be like, "All right."
No, you'll take fanatics to the face on your goblins all day long.
Exactly.
I will lose 6 goblins if I can kill like 2. No problem.
Yeah. I think everybody would be happy with that trade.
Because right now they do feel like overpowered. They're not, because the rest of the army is not that great.
Yeah,
but yeah, if they bring up the rest of the army, lower the fanatics, I think it's fine.
And to be fair, like change one of the things that we mentioned for fanatics to change them.
Exactly.
You do one of those, I think we're all happy.
Gotcha. Well, I'm happy right now.
I think we're all happy. We all had a good time. Why did we have a good time, Neil?
Why do we what?
Why did we have a good time? Why are we in a good mood?
Why did we have a good time? It's a very open-ended question. Are you talking event?
I'm trying to segue you into the event. Come on.
I think the people have seen the title. They know what's going on here.
The title, they've seen the thumbnail.
So let me answer this question now. We had a good time because we all got an Airbnb together.
That's right.
A huge thing. We had our first old world GT that we've all been to. Right? I know you guys have been to plenty of fantasy GTs, right? But which I have not. This was actually my first GT, Warhammer fantasy, old world, you name it. I've not done one before.
Yeah, like outside of Terathi, we haven't done old world stuff, and that's a very narrative, relaxed event, not a sweaty competitive thing.
Not competitive, yeah.
I've always heard like super crunchy, super neckbeardy, tons of questions, people questioning every every quarter inch of movement. I experienced none of that. This to me was every bit as fun as an Age of Sigmar event that I've been to, perhaps with maybe a few more questions.
Right.
But
yeah.
outside of that, it was very cordial and now, I mean, mid tables, right? Spoiler alert, but
all of us.
I don't know how it was up top, but I never know how it is up top, and anybody who's followed this podcast is aware of that. So, but yeah, that's why we had a good time.
It is, and there's a lovely picture right now of all of us having some delicious Mexican food. What was the restaurant called, Neil? Remember the restaurant?
Oh, I don't know. I had a Corona Rita.
Oh, it's prevalent in the picture.
I got to the house first. So I was very drunk. I just somebody drove me there, and I ate Mexican food. I have no idea what the name of it was.
There you go. Well, we got the whole crew. So down here we got Mark, then Neil, Terry, of course Alex, Brad, Matt hiding in the back, Luke, myself, and Cole. So in this picture here, yeah, I have to say, just getting an Airbnb, at first I was like, whatever. That was probably the best decision.
It was great. We had 10 people or 11 people over, like after the games, maybe even 12. It was John and Dave and Mike. Yeah, we had 12 people over.
Yeah,
wow.
We all were fairly comfortable, other than poor Luke, who had to sleep next to the chainsaw that is Cole.
I could hear him like he was in my room and he was the next room up.
I think, even if you have earplugs in, you can still feel the vibration of the bed. He's pretty potent.
Cole was below me, and I was asleep before he went to sleep. But one time the last day I woke up a little early, just laying in bed, and I was like, I heard it. I'm like, what the whoa.
Yeah.
Cole, if you're listening to this, please get a CPAP machine. We love you.
Bro, gotta get a CPAP. Yeah.
Gotcha. But just high level on the tournament itself. I got a picture here of the prize support. So they did a little ticket system where you bought tickets, and then there's a level 1, level 2, level 3, and they based on how many tickets were sold or how many draws they had. And Brad from our crew came out really, really good.
That was awesome. I think Brad did put a lot of tickets in, though.
He did. But still, it's just fun to see that there's a nice collection of this, and you got there's more to choose from. Not all of this was given away. It was just more of, but plenty of options.
I really like that system because it was just the shop owner who supported the event.
Yeah.
Just brought a bunch of stuff and hey, do a raffle, win some stuff. Winners of the event got some things. So it was cool.
I love the structure. I hated the wheel, but that's, well.
Yeah, the wheel, from what I understand, is not returning.
Yes.
So, the wheel was a fail.
Gotcha. Yeah. Let's see. Alex just, we'll save it for the end, but we know our good friend Luke, due to the courtesy of our good friend John, gifted him some much needed Phoenix card for his list. So
very good.
And also, I want to talk about this. This was a $75 ticket for a 2-day GT. And this was our meal both days, pretty much. Some chicken wings, some pizza, some salad. There was some sort of pasta beneath there. I didn't go too heavy on that, and some fries. I love a catered event. Holy cow.
Yeah. It was unlimited food. You could choose to have a beer or unlimited soda for the day. Right?
Yep.
So $75 got you 2 large meals, 2 beers, and then any price support. That's a great price.
Even just the fact that we didn't have to run out to get food and come back. We just got breakfast and dinner, and that was it. I think we were just hanging out, chatting, getting to meet people at the event. It was so good.
Yeah, I loved it.
Let's see. All right. Well, with that stuff out of the way, let's go right into. Well, actually, no. Before we go into the games, I'm sorry. Backtrack. Let's make sure we remind everybody what we brought. Alex, would you like to go first?
Yes.
Just high level. Yeah.
Sure. I brought a goblin list. Actually, pretty heavy infantry. I had 90 goblins, and the reason for it was 3 fanatics. So basically, my list was heavy infantry with 3 fanatics in each block of goblins, 2 level 4s, a bunch of cave squig heroes, and about 15 or 17 total cave squig cavalry, 2 mangler squigs, and then 2 tomb divers.
Nice. Neil, how about yourself?
I don't know if we talked about it before, but I had a prince on dragon. There was a 500 point limit on characters.
Oh, yep.
So my dragon was 500 points. So
Makes
Not
perfect sense.
498, not 499. It was 500. And so he had full plate armor, Star Dragon, 3 times Opal Amulet, Dragon Helm, and Pure of Heart. So those 3 times Opal Amulets did come in super handy.
I bet.
Kept the dragon alive multiple times, getting hit by bombards and the Bretonian lists and things like that. Actually dissuaded him from shooting the bombards one time because it's like, well, it's not going to do any damage. So he put it somewhere else. And then after he didn't do that, he was thinking, well, maybe we should have done that just to get rid of him. So yeah, I can't speak highly enough of those Opal Amulets. Archmage was level 4. Lore Master's Cloak, Silvery Wand. Noble was a BSB, Bow Avalorn, Razor Standard, and then the Handmaiden had the Horn of Isha, which, by the way, for like 2 games straight, I was playing it as if it just worked in her turn, in our turn at all, not until, but it actually works to the next turn, which makes it way better. Because I'm like, these sisters suck. This is not working out.
Yeah.
More about that later. But I was not using them to their full abilities, shall we say. So core was Lotham Seaguard and Illyrian Reavers. Nothing really too special about that outside of Ring of Furies on the champions. And then we did 2 Lotham Sky Cutters and 14 Sisters of Avalorn, and the champion, of course, with the Bow of the Seafarer. So.
Nice. See, for me, it was Dragon, not 500 points, like 489 or something. Defensive. Tell you what,
underpowered. Holy moly!
Yeah, I was going casual with this vet. I wasn't trying at all.
It's a fun list. It's a fun list.
Yeah. I have to say, he had the Sword of Might. He was like 2 up, 6 up, 5 up, Sword of Might. I don't like the Sword of Might. I think I'd rather take the 3 up on the armor, with with the Warden regen on him, and give him like a great weapon or like an Ogre Blade or something. Because Sword of Might, like the dragon did all the work anytime he got in combat.
Yeah.
But I still.
What I've been doing is I don't like the magic weapons. Unless you're going to go Ogre Blade, you're going to go all out attack, really.
What about
Or you're going to do the Ogre Blade and like the Talisman of Protection. That's the only combo I like. Outside of that, I'm going to give him a great weapon. And then I'm going to put Ring of Fury on him, maybe, just in case he gets hit by a Green Knight. So you got some chance at something magical going against a Green Knight or something ethereal. But outside of like, I'm not about every one of those magic weapons is like no rend, no AP. It's like, what are we doing here? Like, why is this 40 points?
Yeah, exactly.
It's not going to do anything.
Maybe we'll try the Woodsman's Axe on him or something fun. But although I have to say, the most freeing thing I did was take the lance off the dragon. Just because I don't care if I'm gonna be the same if I charge you, you charge me. Come at me, bro.
That's actually pretty smart.
Yeah, and it relaxed the play, and I was less overthinking about that. I only had to really think about the one unit. But I also had a Noble, BSB, Starlance. All this was Blood of Calidor too, so everything's got like a 2 up, 6 up, or 3 up, 6 up at least. Impetuous, which doesn't matter. I'd roll Impetuous like, cool, I'm charging anyway.
Yeah, right.
Or they're staying outside my charge range because they're afraid of me. Level 4, Silvery Wand, High Magic. During the whole event, got Walk Between Worlds and Fury of Cain every time, so that's all I really needed.
Wow.
Yeah, it was solid.
Very good. Very good.
Because there's a bit of a risk, and I was like, okay.
Paid off.
Yep. Then I had 12 Silver Helms, War Banner, 8 Illyrian Reavers with Cav Spears and Bows, which I always put the Cav Spears on and never charge. And then I take them off, and then I end up charging. I'm like, what's wrong with me? I did charge once, but we'll get there when we get there. And it was led by the latest Herathi build. She was just the standard bearer in that unit for this, not as a character, just as a part of the unit. I say 12 Silver Helms. And then I had 12 Dragon Princes, Dragon Slaying Sword on the champion there. And yeah, just a Death Star. So I'd say being 4 drops really came in clutch.
Yeah.
To let me just buff up and move up and be aggressive. Even when the times when I'd roll a 2, my opponent thankfully also rolled a 2 on the priority. So I just went first every time, I think. Except for in the first game. I think that's one time I didn't. And the last game because they were slower than me. But yeah, good fun. So yeah, I guess I'll jump in. As I said before, it'd be myself, Neil, and Alex. Go game by game. Try not to go too deep, but call it the key moments. So my round 1 was a grudge against our good friend Terry. Terry's a mighty Orcs and Goblins player. The last time him and I played, I think it was me and Mike on a team versus Terry and Neil, and they had the Orcs and Goblins versus High Elves Bretonnians, and you guys ran over us.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm sure Neil remembers that fondly.
I do. And that's I was playing Orcs and Goblins. Yeah. So.
Yep.
Absolutely.
So we deployed, and like I said, I'm coming into this event ready to go. Like, let's 3-2, baby, at least. Let's push it. Let's see what we can do. And we get there, and I'm like, okay, I win the priority. I'm like, I look at everything. I'm back far enough. Terry can't reach me. I know he wants to come forward. Terry take first turn. And then we quickly realized, including Terry, he hasn't played in months.
Yep.
And it was just like, uh-oh.
He was very rusty.
He's like, oh, he didn't even roll for magic. I'm like, okay, send him the magic cards, pull out my templates. He was very rusty. Okay, so this isn't a knock against Terry, because this event was fine for being rusty. It's very casual, even though it was competitive. He deployed everything. I saw like one potential weakness I was able to exploit. But yeah, I think the first turn was like 35, 45 minutes of me helping him get through like the turn, the process. And he was a little bit disheartened whenever it got to my turn, and my army is just buff and move. His turn took 45 minutes. My turn took 45 seconds. And he's like, bro, I don't even have time to think in your round to relax. And it's already back to me. I'm like, yep.
That's part of the strategy, right? Part of the strategy.
Part of the strategy, yeah. Yes, sir. But yeah, it was a good game. I managed to get my dragon, thanks to my Laren Reavers were baiting out his Black Orcs, which he kind of misdeployed, which he even said he realized after the game. So kind of drew them out and just ignored them. Dragon came up here, managed to get a nice little flank charge on his piggies, into his Doom Diver, into his Warlord, and just kind of overran. I think it was we got to like the last. There's like 2 turns left. He was mostly destroyed, and it was like, he's like, yeah, you don't need to chase my guy over here, my Doom Diver that you're gonna kill. Like, that's fine. You're going to kill it. You have the range.
Sure.
So,
Sure.
Took the win. Mighty, absolute crushing victory. It was fun playing Terry. I was kind of nervous because if I won, it was a relief. If I lost, Terry would never let me live it down. So
absolutely, he was talking so much smack in our group chat.
He was.
Terry, like myself, we're not afraid to be the heels, right?
Yes.
We're not afraid to talk a lot of trash just to get people a little upset.
Yes.
Just builds up the tension,
Exactly.
Now, did he remember his netters rule?
Okay, so yeah, actually, in my game is apparently his only game all weekend where he remembered his netters.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
good.
It was against my Dragon Princess. He's like, I got netters. I was like, okay, what do you need? He's like, well, if I don't roll a 1, it's gonna happen this, and he rolled a 1. I'm like, I was like, okay, so what does that do? He's like, yeah, you're just gonna kill me. I'm like, okay. And then I think that's why he forgot. Oh, Neil, you muted yourself.
That's great.
I actually should have netted himself. Actually,
no,
yes.
he did the rule. I was just like, but he was talking about what it's gonna do to me as if it was guaranteed, and then he rolled the 1.
Not that it's gonna matter too much, because Chaco's gonna attack first. Not yourself. Doesn't matter, right?
Yeah, but I'm happy to take the win, not have to suffer the verbal beatdown I would receive for the next 6 months. But good game. As I said, and Terry felt comfortable at the end for the next game, which was probably a good win for him too on that. So next up we have Neil. This is a lovely picture of some Seaguard, and we got a little Lothern Skycutter about to just run into some Graveguard.
No, we avoided the Graveguard at all costs this list. So I was playing John DeCoulis. This was a little grudge match that we had. The TO was kind enough to let us set up round 1, and basically what this game boils down to is I didn't realize that Graveguard just couldn't march, and he didn't have anything that was going to make them march.
Right.
So they were slow as shit. I was worried about them, but turns out I didn't really need to have to be too worried about it. I kept on like shooting my sisters into them to try to do something, or shoot the terror guys. He had 2 terror guys. He had a zombie dragon with a vampire on top, with a 4-up ward save and a 5-up regen or something like that. And basically what the game comes down to, this is why I was joking earlier with you on the chat, but the game came down to who was going to kill whose dragon.
Yeah.
And I killed his dragon maybe turn 3, which allowed my dragon to go ham. And so even though he had a Terrorgeist that was kind of backing its way around the backside of my army, it really didn't matter at that point. The sisters did actually finally draw a line of sight onto like his ethereal units and just pop that in the one time they fired. But yeah, they were less than stellar. Just taking off a wound here and a wound there that were getting grown back. Spoiler alert: the AP -5 that was on my on my sisters with a 6. We'd maybe roll a 6 to wound, maybe 1. It didn't come into play, and it wasn't awesome until I played against an army I probably didn't need it anyway. And we'll talk about that later. But
it's really cool in theory to say you have AP5.
Yeah.
Awesome. So a shout out to John. John did not want to have to rebase his Age of Sigmar Terrorgeist zombie dragon. So he has GW legal cardboard.
Yes, he does.
Underneath these things, it does say Games Workshop. It is actual Games Workshop cardboard. So
That's
official
legit.
model, official base. You did have them cut to size, but that's terrible, John. Do better. Yeah. So
John makes up for it with his personality.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes. And by the way,
else, I would be mad.
John did win.
Don't worry about it.
That's sports. I think maybe he had a win. Maybe.
And, yeah, shout out to John too for losing like 40, 50, like he's losing tons of weight. So John, keep it up.
Oh yeah,
You're looking good.
Awesome.
Yeah. Oh no, 60 pounds.
60 pounds. It's crazy.
Great. He looks phenomenal. Working out 7 days a week, push, pull, leg split. Phenomenal.
There you go.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, did you end up did you take the victory in this, Neil?
I did take the victory
Okay.
pretty significantly. I don't remember what the points were, but it was something like, I want to say something like 1,700 to 4 or something like that. Or maybe it was 1,400. I don't know. It was pretty significant though.
Good game. Well, next up, Alex did not take any sort of grudges.
Nope.
And you got to play our new friend and legend in the scene, Bell of Lost Souls writer, Abe Apfel. Truly a mighty competitor. So Alex, how did this game go? What was he playing?
Yeah, so Abe was playing the Exiles Bretonnian list. So ones that have to get the Blessing of the Lady only after they wipe a unit or win a challenge, right? So that's how they get the Blessing of the Lady per unit. But in exchange, they get access to artillery and pretty awesome cannons. I think are better than Empire cannons.
Better than Empire, or no, they're better than Dwarf. I think they're just almost as good as Empire. I think.
Right. They were phenomenal.
They're good. Yeah.
They were. They did better than Cole's cannons ever did against me. So for some reason, they were really good.
Spoilers.
Yes. So spoilers. A couple spoilers going to be in this game. So this was a great game. Abe was a great opponent. Awesome guy. I actually learned quite a bit in this game because he is a very high-level competitive player. So some rules that in our club we just don't know because we just don't know. He was like, "Hey, you can't do that. Hey, I can do that. Hey, here's this rule." So I actually became a better player after a crushing defeat in this game. So my game started with this was the most terrible loss I had of the whole event.
Okay.
So he scored max points against me, as you can see, and I think you have the 2 pictures in there.
Yeah.
I never left my deployment zone.
Yeah. He pinned you immediately.
It was pretty rough. I could have played better, right? And this is an excuse, right? Just because I'm not as competitive, as skilled of a player, let's say. Our Bretonnian scene in our club is much softer than the Bretonnia that Abe brought, right? So I was expecting, Bretonnia can charge. I have to make sure he doesn't charge me turn 1, blah blah blah. He charged me turn 1.
Yeah. You can't avoid the Vanguard up and charging. Yeah.
Can't avoid the Vanguard, and he did get it. And yeah, it was. I also could have played better, right? I could have positioned better. I could have released Fanatics sooner. I did score desperate play in the end. I was trying to do some smart things, and I did score about 650 points off of
Oh,
him.
nice.
So it was good. I'll take a little more than a quarter of his army, but he scored max from me, which is about 2,300, I believe, total.
Nice.
But good game. His cannons did awesome. My Doom Divers actually killed his general, so that was cool.
Ooh.
But then his cannons killed both my Doom Divers, so I couldn't do that anymore.
Fair. That's good. Yeah, Abe is a great player, and I'm happy to have made him as a friend at this event too. It's nice to meet him. And there's a spoiler and a segue into my game too, against Abe.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So yeah, I got to play Abe. And you know, I knew what was coming for me. He had the Falcon Horn and everything. And I was like, okay, I'm just gonna be hyper aggressive, let you solve the puzzle that's my army. And to be fair, I figured he would. He's played probably one of the few people out there that's played more games than us out there.
For sure.
I got to go first. I buffed up, marched the Dragon 20 because I knew that Falcon Horn was coming and I needed to get close to do something with it. So I was trying to flank it. And with I did deploy and kind of stay where he couldn't turn one charge me. But I think the nice part is like, you know, I deployed and moved up aggressive where I could, and it was a little cheeky where I didn't need to be aggressive yet. And it took him quite a while. He was measuring and measuring. We were chatting the whole time. Like, you know, he had brain was functioning on two different levels here. One for casual conversation and one for just you know, just figuring out how to beat my list. And he did ultimately end up crushing me in this battle because this was the breakpoint one. But like I said, I made him think, and actually the picture I have here is him looking, trying to figure out what to do. And if I can make a skilled seasoned player go, how do I solve for this? I felt like you know, it's a little personal win. Even as we're playing, we're talking through it because like I think we both kind of knew, like, I knew what he was going to do, he knew what I was going to do to a point, and I'd make certain calls, and I'm like, have you ever had those moments where you're making a call, you have one way or the other, and you make the call that you think is best, but you're always going to second guess it? And he's just like nonstop, and I was like, okay, good, because that felt like most of this game for me. Just everything I did, I'm like, okay, I sacrificed the Silver Helms to try and bait him into a charge, and it could have worked. Didn't go exactly my favor. Ultimately, he ended up surrounding me and taking out my Dragon Princes after the Silver Helms were gone. The only thing he didn't kill off me was my Dragon, but the way the scenario works is like once you're broken, you're just kind of broken. Right. And then Dragon, he actually did one smart play. I thought he was going to leave. I thought he was going to have the fight with his Baron that had the Dragon slaying sword and stuff, which I always lose that fight. I'm just bad luck on that rolls. He said no and left, and he let my Dragon eat 2 his cannon, so I got 200 points.
Hey,
yes, so I got some points off of him. Almost got a couple archers, but just couldn't quite squeeze it out with the Illyrian Reavers before the game was over because of the break. So, still good game. I had a great time playing it. If I went back, maybe 1 or 2 things change here or there, but I still don't know if that really affect the outcome. I just think my list is just not built to take on that list per se, or at least I haven't figured out how to crack that code yet. But still, it was good. And like I said, I got to move up and make him think, and that was a little personal win there.
One thing I'll say about Abe is he's an opponent I would love to play more of. Like, I wish he lived locally, because I know that both you and I would get, anybody playing him would get better every time you play him.
Yeah, I want Neil, I want Terry, I want even Mike Keel, you know, like, and Abe. I'll just move to Pennsylvania. Come on, guys, come over here. Bring Cole back too.
Bring Cole back.
Yeah, I loved it. I had such a great time with that game. And like I said, it was even fun too because they were even on the one charge with the cannon. And this was before like the game was won. It was close, and he's just like, do it. It's cool. And I'm like, competitive player, but still here to have a good time. Right. You're in, kid. You're part of this group. You want to stay at the Airbnb next year? Yeah. Anyway, mighty win into mighty loss for me. And then Neil. Oh boy, Neil. There's some Sisters of Avalorn, and they are fighting too many dwarves.
Oh yes, yes, yes. So, yeah, that's not what you want to see.
Mm-mm. No, sir.
That's a little foreshadowing right there. So I got Big M in this game in a title bout. So we have our little local gaming group belt that does get passed around through challenges. We decided that anytime any one of us would have played each other, the belt was going to be on the line, which I thought was fair. And so I played Matt here. Now, originally I've had a hand in him breaking apart his list a little bit, and ever since I kind of helped him with his list, I've not yet beaten his list.
That's awesome.
I looked at it and I'm like, I can do this. I can get this with this army. Not a problem here. Last time I faced him was with orcs and goblins, and this will be different. I know I just need to avoid this, his big block of troops there and kill the rest. So the problem with my army is all of the power really comes from the dragon,
Mm-hmm.
Right.
right? The sisters, unfortunately, were just not pushing enough damage to do anything to take out a unit. So whenever you had like strength 3 shooting, even with AP -1
T4
on a
dwarves.
toughness 4,
Yeah.
I mean, and then you're rolling 5-ups, right? Or once you start rolling 5-ups on them, even if you get those couple of 6s, what do? You kill a dwarf.
Right.
All right, perfect, right? He's got I don't know how many more of them, 20 more of them, right? That's where all of his points is. I think something like 1,200 of his points is in that one unit.
Yeah.
So now it becomes kind of like, how do I score enough points to win without putting my dragon into the unit that has a guy who does D6 damage on a swing? Okay. What do I do there, right? And so the whole time I kind of flew up the flank. I came up the flank with my sky cutters, with one sky cutter and the dragon. He charged my sky cutter with, I don't know if they were quarrelers. I think they were quarrelers, and they had great weapons on them. And I think he did a wound. He didn't even kill it, so he got stuck, which allowed my dragon to come and charge in the next turn, kill all of them. And my reavers are going up around the side. He shoots them, kills them down to one guy left. They do not run, so they don't panic. There's just the champions left, right? So the next turn, I charge the champion in to his artillery. His artillery, by the way, everything in his army has magical attacks, right?
Yeah.
So all of that kills my sisters, even if they're ethereal. Right? So this is not good.
Yeah, you have no armor.
These are shooting sisters with artillery and stuff. They're blowing to bits left and right. I'm like, this is not good. Like, we got to get this artillery. And so I charge in this one single horse. It's got the the Ring of Ruin on there, or whatever, Ring of Fury. So I'm like, I'm gonna kill these guys. It's just crew, right? Except those crew are toughness 4.
Yes,
Fluff my
sir.
rolls, even with the ring going off. Fluff the rolls, and so they actually kill that horse. Right?
That's awesome.
So, which means the next turn I have to commit my sky cutter in, and that kills them. He's getting rounds of shooting in against my dragon. I'm shooting his was it Iron Drakes that have the troll hammer torpedoes?
Yep.
Got 3 minutes of those, and I'm shooting them with my sisters and killing them down to just the champion left, right? So
Which
just
that has a troll.
really the only reason why you took the whole damn unit in the first place. And now he's got a 360-degree like vision arc because he's one guy left.
Right?
So he's just shooting this dragon, right? And I'm using an obsidian or the opal amulets, right, as much as I can. Eventually gets all those taken down, and now he's just doing damage. He's doing damage with bolt throwers. He's doing damage with the troll hammer torpedoes, and it comes down to a point where my dragon is still alive. It's got 3 wounds left. All right, there are two guys with the troll hammer torpedo left. I kill the one, right, but I can't reach it with a charge from my sky cutter at this point. So I've got to make a decision. Do I charge at the dwarf with the troll hammer torpedo with my dragon, trying to kill him?
Yep.
Right. Or do I just back up a little bit, and do I just flame breath him, kill him without having to charge in? Right. So Matt and I went back and forth on this a little bit, and And I'm like, well, because his guys don't even get a -1 to hit, right? So he's on a 2-up.
Yep.
He's on a 2-up. He's going to hit for sure. And then the strength on it's something ungodly as well. I don't know what it is, but he was wounding every single time he got something through, right? Which was pretty much every time. And so I decided, you know what? I'm going to just stay back here. I'm going to flame breath him. I'm going to kill him, and then we'll go on, right? And then once those things are gone, because now the war machines are gone too, I can then try and figure out how I want to attack this block, right? Do the flame breath, does not wound. Guy shoots the guy off. He rolls the D3. He rolls the 3, which is very unmat-like. Kills my dragon.
Wow.
And then the rest of the game just was me trying to shoot into random, like the big dwarf unit and try to just move away.
Yeah.
I also kept a unit of Sea Guard off to the side because I didn't realize about this scenario, which I hadn't played before, that like I thought it just ended at 6 turns. Apparently, this scenario did not end at all.
Until you recorded, right?
So like you just kept going until you got to 25%. So I knew he had to kill a unit down to like 17 guys left to hit the breaking point. So I just took my Sea Guard. I'm like, you're over here now. He can't win this game if he can't touch my guys in 6 turns, which he was not going to be able to do. So then he kills my sisters, and we're like, all right, well, you're still winning on points, but here's the win, right? And then Drew comes over. He's just like, no, the game would be going on. I'm like, all right, well, if that's the case, you're eventually going to get there, right? You're eventually going to hit him. So you get all the points for this. And Matt goes on to win the game, take the belt from me, which is, I don't know if you have the picture of it.
I do. Matt's excited. Neil's like, whoo, and Drew, the TO over there, just loving every moment of this.
Yeah. So I was happy for Matt. Well-deserved win. He has been struggling to get wins with dwarves, as many have. So it's good to see him get that, and because I was not giving it away. That's for damn sure.
No, absolutely not. So. Perfect. Well, we'll go into Alex's second game before we take a short break here. So right into it. Oh, look at these 2 handsome men.
Wow, look at
Alex
this guy.
and John. Look at that.
Yeah.
And hey, by the way, it's excited, Neil, to see the belt move after it sat in Ohio for way too long.
It was very good to see it move.
And I have to do a quick shout out. I'm ashamed at the rest of the Ohio crew for no one challenging you for that belt while it was over there. That's on them.
What the heck?
They were afraid of you.
Well, I don't know. I hadn't played a game since we were up your way.
That's
so no, I take it back because we did have that tournament. Was that before or after? I don't know. It'd been at least a month and a half since I played Warhammer before this event. So
fair. Well, shame on Ohio, except for Neil. They were afraid. But yes, Alex, John, you, handsome. Go.
Yeah, so John challenged me to a game, which was great. I really liked our deployment. It was very cinematic with just big blocks, looking like it's going to charge each other. Unfortunately for John, my Doom Divers did really well this game. And the way that vampire counts work, for those who don't know, is if your general dies, you are on a timer now before your army crumbles and just dies. Basically.
That timer is pretty quick, surprisingly.
Yes, so you have like 1.5 more turns maybe, right? So really your general should be alive for at least 4 or 5 turns of the game, right? Before it dies. So John deployed as he did, and then he deployed his general, which was his level 4 necromancer, right next. He was about to deploy it right next to a unit of Graveguard. So I tell John, hey, just so you know, even though Doom Divers cannot target him, I can target your unit and then potentially move up to 3 inches to hit it, right? So I told him that just so he knows that I can still potentially target his hero, even though I can't technically target him, right? Because Doom Divers can move a little bit. I have to get a little bit lucky, but it's very, very possible based on how I was rolling last game. So as I told him that, I was like, hey, just so you know, you can still put him there. So he decided to put it in a unit of Graveguard. The way that my army works, because of the Squig's random movement, and if I get the spell off on them that they can move a second time in the turn, they can charge turn 1. If I get lucky with the rolls. You've seen it, Chuck, where I will be 4 inches away from you, roll 3 ones, and not make the charge. So you have to roll slightly well. But I did roll well. I charged his unit of Graveguard, and I killed his general turn 1.
Dang.
So
turn 1.
So, and correct me if I'm wrong here, but if his general was outside the unit but still within like a certain amount of inches, does he still get a lookout sir roll?
No, you just
No.
can't target him. You have to be within a unit to get a lookout sir.
Okay.
Yeah, I looked it up as well because that's how I was running my heroes. You cannot target with shooting at all if you have a unit within 3 that I think has 5 or more models that is closer target, right? If you are with a unit, you get a lookout sir.
Okay.
Right.
Gotcha.
So,
but you have to target the middle of a unit, right?
Yes.
So you still would have had to roll a pretty impressive. Yeah. So I think he might have made the wrong choice there.
Yeah. And I told him all that, like,
Yeah.
so I'm like, hey, just so you know, there's a chance, but also it's not unlikely because his Terrorgeist was also very close, right? So all I had to do was roll a direct hit, roll 5 or a 6, and then I could move 3 inches, and then strength 8 hit with AP 3 D3 plus 1 damage, right? So you have to get slightly lucky, but also 2-3 turns, I most likely would get it, right? Because he has no way to shoot my Doom Divers as well.
That's true.
I told him that in hindsight, what he should have done is put his hero in a unit of zombies and put it behind, so I can't charge it.
Yeah.
Right, charge it turn 1, which would have lasted his game much longer, would have been a closer game. But unfortunately, because I killed his general literally in the first round, first turn after 2 rounds of combat, he survived 1 round. He started crumbling very soon. He did some, I'm pretty sure we didn't even get in combat with anything besides that first charge that I had. Yeah, unfortunately. And then Doom Divers actually did do very well. So the funny thing is, with the way I was rolling for Doom Divers, even if he was next to a unit, I probably most likely would have killed him. Because Doom Divers, I think by turn 2, killed 1 Terrorgeist.
You still have the random arrow though in terms of the direction they move. You can always adjust it afterwards, right? But
you can adjust it, but if you direct hit, you can adjust in any direction.
That's pretty nice.
Yeah,
I didn't realize you could. I thought the direct hit meant you just direct hit.
It's a direct hit, and then you adjust on the dice.
I believe at least.
Maybe. If we're wrong, let us know in the comments below.
If we're wrong, then I like to, John.
Either way, that's news to me. So if that's the case, I want to know that. So when I'm shooting my Doom Divers,
there you go.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I think so.
That's fine. We'll look it up.
I've checked that now.
Yeah, check it out. But no, it looks like a good game. John's a great opponent, and even me, like I was talking to John too, because I did end up playing him. But like we were talking about like how to make his list more powerful. He knows how to make it more powerful. That was not his intention for this.
He brought a fun list.
He brought a fun list. He was having a good time, and I think he was grudging each round.
Yes,
which was fun.
He wanted to play his friends.
Yeah, he wanted to play his friends, and it was exciting. So, but still, that wasn't saying he was not giving games away. But he just, I told him, I said, hey, I would like to play, like, eventually, it's like, I want to try John bringing the smoke with that list. I want to see how bad he can make that.
Well, what John told me is John's he's a rules as intended guy, right? So something sounds like out of whack, but it's just like, oh, the rules, they'll say, like, he'll allow you to do that all day long, but he will not himself do that.
Right.
So if it's something like he feels like is kind of taking advantage of rules or whatever, he'll go as far as just not running it.
Yes.
And so like you will never actually get to play that list because he will never run it. Because to him, he feels that that's not the way it was meant to be. So
entirely fair.
Yeah. John does not seem to enjoy the crunch hammer. He seems to enjoy playing fun games with his friends.
I think he enjoys discussing it, but not playing it.
Yeah.
Because I had some deep discussions with him at the Airbnb after, just like talking deep into the rules. So it's cool. But yeah, okay. So looking good. So some good games. So we're going to take a quick break before we jump into our third and final game of day 1.
Very good.
All right, we're back. We also did a quick rules check. Alex is 100% right, and Neil has some more power in his back pocket, and we should all be afraid of what's about to happen with these Doom Divers out there, everybody.
The best pointiers are the green ones.
Boo. Down with this sort of thing. All right, game 3, boys. Day 1, let's go. I got to play Big M. Fresh off of his belt-winning title match.
Jeez.
Matt has to fight High Elves again. Let me tell you, though, he was confident. because he's like, I've just beat high elves, I can do it again. And he looked at my list. He's like, that's not the same high elves, Chuck. I'm like, no, it is not. So Matt, this was the short edge deployment. So he deployed pretty much on the line, like everything was going to get a shot. He put his big Death Star unit and drilled. Corlers on the far left, Corlers on the right. Bunch of his Iron Drakes in center, plus his War Machines kind of centerish, and his Toughness 10 Anvil of Doom, which I'm glad he listened to me and finally made that thing exist. Dead center. So funny, was moving up. I kind of sacrificed the Reavers just to kind of pull some of his shots away from everything. My dragon was on the far right, and everything else was dead center. And I was moving up, and he was ready for the charge. He was absolutely ready, and the turn before I was able to charge, I got a fiery convocation off on his big unit. Direct hit.
Wow.
Killed like 8 or 9 of them. It was crazy. Jeez. Meanwhile, my dragons just went off on the right, eating Quarrelers. My silver helms are off, eating like some Iron Drakes, just doing their thing. And this big Death Star unit that Matt's, this is the fight. This is what we need to do. Because like he kills mine, he wins. I kill his, he wins. Gets to be back to my turn. He's ready. He's braced for the charge. He's like, Banner of Hesitation. I don't care about your lances. I back up and cast Fiery Convocation on him. He's like, what? I chose not to charge.
Wow.
Took out another half of the unit. Still a potent unit. But meanwhile, my dragon is just going through everything in the back line. And my Silver Helm's turn. Yep.
Good.
By the way, I hit him with one of those as well. I just was reading the magic as the way the card reads, they risk being hit, but I didn't realize. So I was taking that as, doesn't matter whether they're fully underneath the template or not. They all risk. And I was incorrect with that. So I was doing like half the damage I could have done.
Yes.
It's the regular template.
Yep. Regular template. Yeah, it's great. But while my dragon is eating up the back lines, and also I made him mad because I just avoided his Toughness 10. He's like, what? I'm like, yeah, I'm just going to go right into your War Machines over here and keep sweeping around this line. I ignored it. I'm like, no, your Toughness 10 thing can live.
Yep, that's smart.
But then finally we got into combat. My Dragon Princes and Silver Helms on both sides, sandwiching his Death Star unit. I was making some pretty good saves, because the only thing of his that could hurt me was the King, really. But I'm Strength 3 after the first charge, and I whiffed a lot of attacks on my lances, on the rear charge there. So it was just slowly whittling down. This is my most memorable moment. This is the most frustrating fight I have ever had in Warhammer, but I loved every moment of it because it's dwarves and that's what should happen.
That's 100% true.
Yeah, 100% true. Yeah, like it's super fun. We were laughing, having a good time. Like we'd get like one kill here and there, which is great, or I'd like make all the saves. But in the end, I was able to do it. I was able to take Matt to town with this little sandwiching while clearing off the rest of his back line. He only managed to kill my 100 and some point Illyrian Reavers.
Wow.
Yeah. Which means Matt, fresh off the title belt of High Elf victory, got defeated by High Elves and had to pass the belt to me, and this little sad expression on his face says it all. He's mad.
Was Matt challenging you in that combat with his king?
He was, and I was denying with my champion, who has a dragon slaying sword, which didn't matter.
And he wasn't getting anything through on him.
Well, because I have a 2-up armor, 6-up ward, and I was just making good saves. Like, he'd kill 1 or 2, but I have a banner, a war banner, a BSB, and at least 1 to 2 ranks, and I was just winning by like 1 or 2, and he'd just be stuck there because he's between both of us. So we just keep fighting it over and over again. I was constantly winning by 1 or 2. Nothing drastic. Was not able to kill it, but
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a little bit of luck on my side to keep winning by 1 or 2. But I said I had a lot of combat res, so.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, and I told him, I remember telling him before this game, he was all excited to win the belt. I'm like, nah, you need to win at game 3. That way you get it for the night and you can talk smack.
There you go.
I chose not to talk a lot of smack because I was like, you know what, if I talk smack next game, I'm losing it. But yeah, happy to end the day personally on 2-1. Got to play some great people, so all good there. And I'm in Matt's Book of Grudges again, so we're good. So, Neil, I see some beautifully painted Bretonnian army here, and a dragon. And what's going on here? What was your round three?
So as you guys got to play Bretonnian Renegades, so did I.
Yeah.
So I actually, this was the game as well, which it limited him, but it also limited me quite a bit as well. So he has the Falcon Horn.
Yes, as every Bretonnian player does, and soon to be Beastman
right.
player.
Yeah, if you're Bretonnians at this point, you're going to match play, they're going to have the Falcon Horn. I get it. I would take it too. All right,
yeah,
I'd 100% take
100%,
it.
Yeah.
My thing that I hate about it, because I got to say it, is that there's just no play around it. Right?
Fair.
They got to pass a leadership test on 2 tries for it to fail. It's going to go off every single time.
Yeah.
Right? Now, that being said, I knew it could be there, and I took a lot of flying. Right? So that's on me as well. Right?
Kind of on you, yep.
So when you're playing long ways on a board and you've got 24 inches of no man's land between you, right, to start out with, I did get first turn, so I took advantage to try and move up as far as I could, but just stay outside of charge range because I didn't want the next turn just to be, get slammed by I don't know how many different knights. I had my sisters in the middle, had my Lothar Sea Guard on a hill in the middle, all set up to just kind of fire. This game, I was actually really excited for these sisters to do something because I'm like, Bretonnian Knights, even Pegasus Knights, like, if I pop some 6s here, that's going to do some damage, right?
Yeah,
they don't
absolutely.
have all the ward saves that regular Bretonnian Knights do, right? But here's where I went wrong. I took a Sky Cutter up the middle. He moved his guys in turn 2, his Pegasus Knights up into the middle, and then there was a charge there for me with the Sky Cutter. Now, Sky Cutters, D3+1, impact hits and everything at a strength 5, -2 AP because they're heavy chariots kind of thing. I thought, maybe I could go in there, take a knight out, whatever, and at least slow them up, right? So that they have to kind of sit there. And it worked. I charged them in. I did pop one Pegasus Knight. He fought back. He countercharged, right? Fought back, did not do enough to kill it, which was just absolutely astounding that didn't happen.
Wow.
But, so they were kind of locked in combat in the middle there. But then by doing that, what happened was I did not allow any good targets for my sisters at that point. He's got his peasant bowman lined up in front of his.
Was he skirmish with you on them?
Yeah, he was skirmish with me in front of him, right? So they're harder to hit and everything and all that kind of stuff, right? So I started shooting them, but that's just basically wasted shots because you're not going to kill the unit dead, right? Because there's 10 of them, so I'm not going to do that much damage. So I'm taking pot shots at those guys. He's taking pot shots back at my sisters, but he's not able to do anything. Then I get the ethereal off on them too, so they're fine. So they're sitting there with ethereal into the next combat. He winds up killing off my my chariot and then overrunning into, I think he overran into my my sisters. And as I think about it, if he was locked in combat, he probably shouldn't have been able to overrun. But maybe it was a charge. I can't remember exactly. Whatever happened, I had my sisters just in close enough range to where they got hit, and I think it was an overrun. And so they couldn't even fire at the knights on the way in because of the overrun, right? So when they hit my sisters,
they've one shot to kill on the strikes first. Otherwise, they're just gonna get killed.
So the Pegasus Knights could not do anything to them, right? Because they're ethereal.
Wow.
Oh, okay.
Couldn't touch them.
Oh, you got ethereal. Nice.
But what happened is my sisters are strength 3, even with like rerolls and shit like that. And he was challenging, right, with his champion. So I just had one guy to try and hit back with, who couldn't overcome his combat res, right? And so it was just like we were just giving ground until his heroes came around the side and cleared up my sisters. From that. Now on the other side of the battlefield, what's happening is my dragon's kind of playing. This is where I'm using the opal amulets, and he's not shooting his cannons there, but he's taking out chariots. I was able to charge. He left his wizard, his level 3 wizard, just in charge range of my my reavers, and my reavers got in, did get off the Ring of Fury and just wound up killing his wizard. And they were very quickly killed back, gone, right? But easy trade right there, taking that every time. The dragon wound up killing his guy on the hippogriff.
Ooh.
And he wound up charging a flank charge to my dragon. Didn't do anything to my dragon whatsoever, because it wound up, because of this is the game where the sides of the board are mountains.
Right.
So
Yeah.
to make the charge, he had to actually make it a disorder charge, which blunted his lances. So he had to come out of lance formation, goes into my dragon, doesn't do anything, right? And then he falls back, and I wind up just staying in combat with this guy on the hippogriff until he's dead. And he did that on purpose then, because I'm kind of he's out of my vision arc to charge. What's in front of me? Well, 2 cannons. Are they close enough? If I can fly, sure. But the Falcon Horn was ensuring this entire time that I was not able to do that. And I was only going 6 inches with my dragon. And so the dragon just had to move up to get closer to be able to charge, and then was promptly blown to bits by 2 bombards. So, after all that, so that game was a resounding defeat. A lot of poor misplay. If you guys remember hearing me talking about our little 4-person whatever you looked at, 1-day event, whatever. I played Terry in that very first game. My dragon ran away in the first combat and was caught and killed in round 2, in which I shook his hand because another unit running off as well, where I scored 0 points. This time I at least scored 500, so we're getting better.
There you go.
Terry, but still very far away.
Bretonnia is tough. Bretonnia is tough.
The Renegades.
The Renegades.
Cannons and really good cannons too. That's what I understand. It's like, okay, you gave them cannons, you gave them really good cannons. Not like some shitty ones they found on a battlefield.
See, I don't know. Like, it's gonna be spoilers too, but like the cannons did nothing to me. Like I neutralized them, did nothing. It's just the Pegasus Knights skirmish and just the 3 characters are just
and there was a limit on them too. They gave the Pegasus Knights loner so that they couldn't be joined by the hero. I mean, it can be much, much worse than what it actually was.
Right. Even with the debuffs, it was still very, very good.
Well, to be fair, the lack of loner just means it's easier to shoot them out. I didn't have shooting, so like I was like, okay, whatever. But like, it's hard to stand up to that many melee characters with quality attacks that can just look anywhere and go anywhere. Like
there's skirmishers,
and everything's got counter charge, right? So you can't even set up a great charge yourself because they're just going to be on a charge as well.
I wish the characters only, like even the Pegasus Knights with skirmish, sure, it sucks, but what it is. But the characters, man, they need to have like the lumbering rule on the Royal Pegasus, just so they don't have that 360 arc anymore.
The 360 you usually have 3 of those heroes. They're all tanky and fighty. Yeah, it was strong. It's strong.
And it makes just shoot them. Just shoot them, right?
You can shoot them.
The Pegasus is not a large target, right? So it can just kind of hide behind shit until it gets. And then if you do throw it out there into somebody's charge range, you're like, oh, good, I'm going to charge you, and it's like, I'm going to charge you back.
Trust me, right here on video, right here is I built that narrative Paravon list, which is the Pegasus Knight one, and then I read the rules. There's a reason I haven't played that, because you guys would not be my friend. There's a bunch of bullshit in this list. I'd like to try it, but boy. Anyway, okay, so I'm 2-1. Neil, you're 1-2 right now for the day, right? All right, let's find out what happened to Alex here.
So I got paired with Cole, our friend Cole.
And by the way, there's Mike Keel stopping in to say hi. Fresh dad,
Mike
congrats.
Keel got me an energy drink. That was very, very nice of him. He makes fun of me because I drink Monsters primarily, and he drinks Ghosts.
As you should. You should just drink coffee like a real man. That's why you can't grow a full beard.
I'm drinking coffee right now. If it has caffeine, I'm drinking it. Okay.
All right. Fair.
All right. So he stopped in, got me refueled for the game, which actually is very helpful because by game 3 I was kind of feeling a little sleepy, let's put it that way. But Cole was coming off of 1 win, 1 loss. I was coming off of 1 win and 1 loss. So we got paired up. Didn't grudge or anything. And Cole is playing in a heavy cavalry empire list.
As you do.
Which I will say one thing. It is better than his mixed cavalry and artillery list, but it's still an empire list.
Yeah, I still respect it though, because like he's trying to play how empire should look.
He is trying to play they should play, and in theory, it is amazing. I think this is probably the worst scenario you could have picked against me because it was narrow, right?
Yeah.
And his cavalry is just regular cavalry, so they need to be maneuverable. And with this scenario, with so narrow of a table, it was very hard. So what he did is on the left flank there in the picture, and actually on the right flank too. What he did is he put his skirmishing bowmen as just a front. So I would charge them or clean them. The problem is I just didn't touch them.
You just ignored
So
him.
I just ignored them. And I just shot him. I did charge him with my unit of squigs in the middle, his demograph knights, and actually took care of them pretty relatively easily. I threw my mangler in there. I believe I actually threw maybe both my manglers in there. So I peppered it with magic first, and then I charged them in a couple turns. I killed them. He had his tanky general in there, so demogryphs in the middle were pretty much gone. And because he positioned his bowman as he did, he couldn't charge me for a few turns. And yeah, I just ignored them. I just sat back and cleaned up basically one unit at a time. That hill was not impassable, so that hill was there. He could have made it for that hill, but he chose not to because I had my unit of squig, and I believe I did save one mangler to be able to flank him if he did so. So yeah, it was a tough scenario for him against my list. At the end of the game, I did win. He by the very end of the game, I got some lucky charges. He had his knights of the White Wolf left, which are phenomenal on the charge, like actually as good as Bretonnian knights, if not better on the charge. However, I charged them with all of my leftover squigs that I had left after all the combats, and yeah, I cleaned it up. And he did kill a Doom Diver, and I think he did kill one unit of squigs of just squig hoppers. But unfortunately, yeah, I killed the rest of his army.
No, that's fair. Empire's in a tough spot right now, but you got to respect the man that sticks with the army that he loves.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think if we played on a regular matchup, I think it would be still a hard game for him, but he probably could have done much more with maneuverability.
Fair. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. A little bit more space to reach out, but no,
Yeah,
it's
he was just stuck behind his archers most of the game, honestly. And by the time I started targeting archers, he had less than half of his cavalry left, so it just wasn't enough.
yeah. I remember playing Cole at Terathi. I think it was Terathi,
Hmm.
and just like a little casual game because it was, and I didn't have a full tournament list yet, but I had some
Yeah.
of the pieces that are in my list now, and yeah, it was just like, man, Empire needs the most love right now. Because like
Yeah,
like not even a tournament tune-up list was able to just kind of roll over it pretty quickly.
yeah.
But hopefully infantry buff pops up.
Hopefully something. Like, and the thing is, on paper, the Demogryph Knights are really good on the charge.
Yep.
The Knights of the White Wolf are really good on the charge, but it's just getting those charges are so hard for him.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, they need both. Honestly, need counter charge. I feel.
They should, and it
Yeah.
makes. I mean, it wouldn't help against my list, but
Yeah. Sure.
against
Sure.
any other list, it would be phenomenal. So yeah, it was. It honestly. I mean, I told him after the game, I was like, "Hey, if you played my list and I played your list, I don't know how I would win.
Oh, sure.
I
Yeah.
just really don't know how I would win."
Yeah.
So, but it was a good game. It's always good to play Cole. It was fun. But yeah, unfortunately, he only killed, I believe, like maybe 400 points, and I killed the rest.
Nice. Well, end of day one, Neil 1 and 2, me and Alex 2 and 1. Still all to play for next game, next day, I should say. I think Alex and I were very thrilled because we practiced against each other so much. We kind of knew like it would take a lot of luck to switch the outcome of the battle Alex and I have had over and over again. He was winning because I just couldn't charge. I am thrilled we didn't have to play yet.
Yeah, yeah. And I think at some point we requested like, hey, if you can, don't pair us.
Yeah, I did, and he's just I was going into round 2.
Yeah. Okay. Got it.
Round 2 actually said round 2, round 3 if possible. I said, but if you need to, you need to.
Right.
And
right,
like,
right.
but it was working out. He told me he's like, no, you guys actually just aren't pairing. So I'm like,
Good.
okay, we're actually
Good.
dodging each other legitimately.
Good.
And it wasn't because I don't want to play you. It's just because we've played so
We
much.
play each other every week, so we don't need to play each other more.
But it's good. We had some dinner that night. We went to a place called Mr. Zub's. Had some good sandwiches. Loved it. Back to the house, relaxing. But I'm trying to think. And by the way, I have to say, I was pulling some Irish goodnights, So the first night, but a bunch of people playing Commander. I bought a new Commander deck because I never played it. I sleeved it, put it all together, and I was like, I'm tired. And I think the three of us snuck up to bed.
Yep.
Next
That
night,
time.
sort of the same thing. Stay up a little bit later, but like no one was really playing games. But like I snuck up to bed. I got 8 hours each night. Holy
that's
crap! Game changer.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So fresh as a daisy. It's Sunday morning. We go get some waffles at Mr. Waffle? What was it called?
Wally Waffle.
Wally Waffle in Akron, Ohio. Go to Wally Waffle, everybody. It was great. Shout out to Alex, the handsome man, who bought me a delicious breakfast while I was going to the bathroom. Because checks came while I was in the bathroom. Which means I gotta get him next time. But hey, boom, Brock up. 2 games to play. I pulled Terry Duvall, the just like I'm just following Neil. You know,
we played a lot of the same people.
we did.
We did.
So he's confident. He's got a high elf victory. He looks at my he looks at my list, and even he was like a little bit like this oriented. Like I'm like, take your time. I'm in zero rush here. Like my stuff's very simple. Here's what it does. All that sort of stuff. We're getting it out. We're getting set up. We deploy. By the way, his army. I love his army. It's just beautifully done. He gets a commission painted. But like all of his tokens, all of his stuff, his tray there, you can see in the picture, it's all themed to match the army, and that is just big props for me. So we get out, we deploy, and he did one smart thing. He did deploy most of his knights on my flanks because I had to go center. That's all I had to do. Once again, Falcon Horn, so I was going to march up and do all that fun stuff. And as you can see in this picture, really what happened is I just moved everything up max. I was like, okay, I'll kill the peasant bowman and turn around, hopefully. And I almost made him panic. When he saw how far I just moved up and I was right next to him, he's like, oh, crap. And by the way, shout out, my level 4 wizard in this whole event was just like, oh, you have magic? That's great. You don't. I don't know. I shut down magic left and right for everybody. My wizard was just on fire.
That's awesome.
But he almost panicked. And when I say almost, means he didn't panic. So he was able to surround. We had some good fights. His Baron with the heroic killing dragon thingy was able to take out my dragon. If I would have lived another turn, I might have been able to pull out a win. Wasn't really a major loss or a huge loss to me. Like I killed a decent amount, but he was able to take the win in this game. And my Dragon Prince is just moving up and being ethereal. Like he knew, he's like, what do I do? Like his cannons and his archers had 0 shots the whole game because everything else got into combat. You can see down here in the bottom right, there's a little elf head on the table. There was one point where the Baron, after he killed the dragon, and the dragon had killed this unit of knights up here in the right, down to 1 man.
Wow.
But I marched my Reavers directly behind his head in a 2 ranks or two wide, 4 deep to just perfectly hide from his Baron. And he was just like, that's the most elf thing I've ever seen. Like, just no, you're not touching me. You cannot see me. I'm cowering. So he went elsewhere, and I took my my Reavers up and actually was able to shoot off his 1 knight with the bow shots there. Got kind of lucky on that. Had a fun moment where my 2 silver helms that were left, and they rolled snake eyes. They're like, no, we're staying. Went right between his 2 peasant bowmen on this hill that you see in the back. So
Nice.
he had 2 cannons to shoot me, but he was risking hurting himself each time. He almost killed a peg knight for me.
Wow. That's cool.
Yeah, it was fun. He was taking the risks. It was a good time. Terry's a great opponent. Like I said, it's like I said, he was so close to just not panicking on the board, but mentally panicking on not knowing what to do. And if I do that, I'll win the game with this style of list, 9 times out of 10. But he held it in, put it together, got it going, surround, and like I said, was able to destroy me. So it was pretty good. And we'll move to Neil next for his game.
Bless you.
Thank you. I was like, I need to mute. I need to sneeze. Sorry. Yeah. So yeah, like I said, great game with Terry. Great opponent. Very, very chill. But Neil, Looks like you're against some skeletons here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I got to play Mark. So we haven't talked about my secret hobby
That's at
just
the
yet,
end.
but I
At
think
the
it's
end.
probably a good time to do it. Even though we'll talk about hobby a little bit later. So I have been printing all the stuff that we've been talking about on the podcast for I don't know how long. A full Dark Elf army for Mark. He used to play Dark Elves, doesn't have his Dark Elf army for reasons, and so I was able to print the last guy the night before the event.
By the way, I got to shout you out. You built it all too and
Yeah.
based it. Like that is next level. Like when you gifted it to him, like even Brad's like, I was like, a Chuck help too. I'm like, I did the smallest little bit. Neil did 80% of it. Brad did 20 because he helped fix your printer.
Right.
Or maybe Brad did 9. Maybe you did 79. Brad did whatever. I did 1%. I just tricked him into getting the list.
Yeah, Brad
Like,
made
kudos to
it
you.
possible to happen, and then I just kind of I was just gonna when I build stuff or print stuff for Matt, I just kind of put it in a bag and I'm like, hey, go nuts, But
Yeah.
I didn't know if he was going to be capable of building it or not, and so I figured, what, unless you've got a lot of tools to work with resin models and you got the time, I just strapped my big old mask on my face and just super glue accelerator,
yeah.
right? A nice air filtration system next to me as well the whole time, and we're just pounding these things with that nasty stuff to get it done quickly enough. And then chariots and things. I use some poster tack or whatever to kind of put those together and everything. So,
We have some
but
pictures
it
at the
turned
end.
out really nice. And so I told him, I said, for me doing that, you should set your army up facing backwards, right? He did not do that.
He did not. He did not. No, he did not.
I thought that would have been a fair trade, but he in fact did not do that. However, I think you came over to this game, Chuck, and you saw my first move, which was a dragon and 2 sky cutters flanking the dragon, going straight towards a big block of skeletons with his vampire lord.
I walked over, I'm like, that is an aggressive move, Neil. Like, holy crap, I'm afraid of that.
So I said, we're bombing him in. This dragon is going to surely kill this vampire lord unless I do absolutely terribly.
Oof.
It turns out that I had to get my stomp attacks in that next turn to actually kill the vampire lord. So I did get him in the first charge. The sky cutters did all their impact hits and all the other things. So skeletons are blowing up left and right, but fortunately the vampire lord was the general. And as Alex has talked about, if you kill that general, in which I did turn 2, I mean, he's rolling leadership, and God bless him, this was not a strong vampire counts list. Right?
It was a fun list, for sure.
Right, it was absolutely a fun list. It had a theme to it and all that kind of stuff.
Army of the Darkness, baby.
But I knew exactly what I needed to do with this, and then we bombed in, did it. And so the story of the game is just like stuff's crumbling, the dragon's running around, just literally tossing bodies left and right. And that's pretty much the story of the game. I didn't get the Sea Guard. The Sea Guard tried to charge 3 times and failed to charge us 3 times. It was like I didn't want to get him so close to get charged back or whatever, but I'm like, God, this damn unit useless. I'm like, we need to get some silver helms in this list, and I mean quick.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so so that's pretty much was. This the dragons flying around killing them, and so that winds up being a max points victory. He had something like 2, I don't know if they were 30 or 40 blocks of skeletons, another smaller block than that of skeletons, 3 units of zombies that he was adding zombies to until it started crumbling. And so however many models that was, he did have 1 unit left with I think like a thrall in there and some skeletons, and that's all that was left of his army.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Jeez.
So it was pretty much a max points victory. He killed a sky cutter, so he got through 1. Yeah.
No, yeah, trust me. Like I felt in my mind because it was a max points. Because I forgot to mention that I think his Baron did take out my dragon instantly, which sucks. But
happens.
It happens. It happens to me a lot more than anybody else, I feel. But I didn't take opal amulets. But yeah,
you absolutely should.
But yeah, it's just in general, death armies, they can regrow so well. But as soon as you get that general,
yep,
They crumble. And that's the other thing, too. I was like, can you back up? Like, can someone else take over like you used to be able to? No.
Yeah.
Man, that's the hardest part right now, I think, with them.
Yeah.
And to his credit, though, too, like he wanted his guys in the units. He wanted them in front because that's the way. Like this army of darkness is what he was running, and he didn't want them behind. I mean, it could have been a little bit more efficient if he had the guys behind, so the side couldn't get. Because I don't know how you even get points off him if he runs it differently, because you just have to grind through like they're unbreakable units. You know, I mean, it should just grow back anyway. But that's not how we wanted to play it, and so.
Hey, he had a good time.
God bless him. Good opponent.
He picks up the win, and we move over to Alex.
Yes, sir.
Is this Bretonians?
Bretonia Exile player.
Of course. There were so many there. I thought there'd be tons of high ups. Wow. No, it's Bretonian Exile.
There must be something good about them,
I guess.
But yeah, it was Dustin. This actually turned out to be my favorite game of the whole tournament.
Oh, okay.
It was a phenomenal game. So he was playing an Exile list that I would say was not quite as good as Abe's list that I played in game 1. He did not have Vanguard on his Pegasus Knight, so he couldn't charge turn 1. But he did make up for it with having a Green Knight, which I can do almost nothing against, right? My magic is usually located too close to my big blocks, and I don't want to expose them, so I usually cannot target him because I have to target him from my units. So I can't see him. And I don't have enough magic weapons to actually be able to kill him.
So you're relying on luck and combat res to kill him.
Yes, and that did not happen. Spoilers. But it was a really, really, really good game. So you know how when you cast spells, you're like, I really shouldn't cast this spell because it's not going to do much, and I don't want to risk miscasting.
Yeah. Actually, I should say no. I always cast. I'm just like, screw it, whatever.
Right.
I'm an elf.
Right. You shouldn't. If you really only have with one spell you want to go off, you shouldn't mess with spells that don't matter. Right. I also did what I usually do. It's like, you know what? Just in case he shoots a cannon at this unit, I want to give him 5+ ward, which are freaking goblins. Why did I do that? So I did the spells I didn't need to cast, got a miscast, and didn't cast any other spells this turn.
Oh, that's the worst.
Which meant I couldn't get my squigs to move again and charge, which means I left him exposed for him to charge in his turn, which just didn't turn out as well as it could be. So there was some poor luck there, but that's just part of the game. And so he charged the unit of squigs, obviously wiped them. I didn't kill anything. My Doom Divers, I think, didn't really do much all game. I think I killed a couple knights. But the way the terrain was positioned, he positioned his army. And he played very well with hiding his heroes. So I couldn't actually see them. So I couldn't direct hit them, right? Because if I cannot see with Doom Divers, I always scatter. Even with the D3 potential movement, you still have to always scatter and follow the little arrow even on the direct hit.
Right.
So unfortunately, I wasn't able to snipe any of his heroes. I didn't get my magic when I needed to get it off. And then he charged everything. And it was a really good game. I think I could have played my Fanatics better. I could have played my Fanatics much better. I actually am pretty happy with the way I took care of a Green Knight. I definitely didn't get to kill him, but I distracted him enough with some of the cheaper units that he still definitely got his points worth. And in the end, he was able to charge into my big units. But I was able to distract him for a couple turns. I think if we played this game again, and if I manage to position my Doom Divers better so I can see his heroes, and if the spell did happen to go off and I wasn't greedy for other spells, this could have been a different game.
Right.
I think it's still a very hard matchup. I think Bretonians are still very, very good.
Yeah.
In the end, we only had a 400-point difference.
Oh, nice. Okay, so it was a close game.
It was a close game. I think I got about 1,400. He got around 1,800. So It was a very, very, very close game. And I think if I played slightly better, I could have pulled out a draw or maybe even a minor win. But alas, I did not play better, and luck is luck. And to be fair to him, he also didn't have the most optimized list, right? Like he could have had Vanguard in his Pegasus Knights and it would have been a very different game. But yes, it was a very, very fun until the very end. We were both laughing about like rolls not going off for him and for me. In the end, the random Fanatic movement actually killed a cannon, which was great.
That's fun.
It was a fun game. Dustin was a great opponent. My favorite game of the event because this was definitely the closest game that I played. Because I think all of the games I played with either I stomp my opponent or my opponent stomps me. And this was the only game where I'm like, it's back and forth. If only I did this thing or this thing worked out better, it could have been a draw or a win.
I said two things on comment on there. One, I have not said what my favorite game is so far. It actually was against Matt because that frustrating battle was so memorable to me. I'll remember that for years to come.
Mm-hmm.
Secondly, I'm wondering if Ethereal, instead of being you need magic weapons, is just only 6s can hit you or magic weapons. 6 is the wound, just to give you a shot against things like because like it's so hard to plan for the Green Knight. I avoided him the whole time, but like I didn't have many answers against him. If I'm honest,
it's incredibly hard with the orcs and goblins list because the only magical attacks you're getting is from your characters if you have something on them.
Yeah. Right.
So, and that's
if I played this game again, I would have actually put my just blocks inside the forest.
Oh,
and have him show up on the other turn, so I could use my units more efficiently and effectively. Because we decided the turn before the game started, like, hey, which terrain pieces should we be able to summon Green Knight from? And there was one in his territory, one in my territory. And I was like, well, I'll just put my army on this side and put it there and deal with it. When in reality, I should just put like, hey, block here, move up, and put some squigs behind or something or up front, and just basically negate him to show up. Because he did show up turn 2, and you have to roll for him. So he could have shown up in his territory, would have taken a couple turns to get to me, which by that point I could have, I could have played this game better. Sure, and I think if we matched up again, I think it would be once again a close game. Every time I think we play against this list against Dustin, I think it would be a close game. I don't see him stomping me, and also don't see myself stomping him. I think it's always like right close to the middle.
Thankfully, we'll have a pretty decent exile list with Quentin in our local area for us to get some reps in against for future events.
Yes.
All right. Well, we're all 2-2 right now, aren't we?
All 2-2.
That's Strength Hammer, baby. We're bringing the heat. You better watch out.
Right in the middle.
Right dead center in the middle. Actually, part of me was kind of excited to maybe go 2-2-1 because that's what I did in my last 8th edition tournament.
Yeah.
So maybe that's what I do in my first Old World tournament, but so on screen here, I get to play the beautiful, handsome John DeCoulos. He actually, obviously, he was going through the grudges, and I was in position for nothing as far as a win. Sure. So Tio allowed the grudge to happen. I was like, okay, let's get in, let's have a good time. And we deployed, as you can see. And to be fair, I don't know what this last mission was. John's like, do you just want to play open order? I'm like, absolutely. So we didn't have to worry about anything. It was just roll dice, have fun. He did keep his necromancer hidden back slightly, but not hidden in a way that I couldn't get it. As you can see, I was very aggressive in the center, on the right flank. I was like, let's hope my Lyran Reavers can deal with that one Terrorgeist off there. But my dragon versus his dragon on the left flank. He perfectly deployed against it, which was just a waffling match back and forth. My Reavers went up, harassed one unit of zombies and the Terrorgeist. Actually charged into the zombies and managed to kill a few, not a lot. Won the combat. He fell back the 2 inches. And then the zombies and Terrorgeist charged, and I ran away almost max distance. So I kept that whole right flank held up entirely by Terathi and her unit, which felt good. Silverhelm's kind of a sacrificial piece I threw out there, but he just couldn't do enough, and I was able to get all my spells off. So I was kind of crushing that front unit. The Dragon Princes were killing the Graveguard down to like 1 or 2 each, but he kept regrowing them back. What really helped me swing this game is I managed to. It was back and forth in the combat. Like he'd win by 1 or I'd win by 1, but I won by 1 in a turn. My Dragon Princes cleared out a route, or not Dragon Princes. My Silverhelms cleared out a route for my dragon to have a not hard charge into his Necromancer. Made it, killed it, watched the whole army start crumbling. And then I threw everything at his dragon. Could not kill his dragon. Killed everything but his dragon in this game. I think he killed... did he kill anything? He didn't kill my dragon. Oh, no. Okay, so actually, he did end up killing my dragon only. So this is the first game where someone has the ability to kill my dragon on a 6 to wound. That I rolled the 6 and I saved it.
Wow.
2 turns later, then he killed it. But still, I was like, I need to
very
open
good.
emulate if I'm running a dragon, always now
Very
and
good.
forever.
Mhm.
But it was a great game. Like I said, John was playing. We were having a good time. We were talking. This is where him and I were talking about like how would you bring the smoke with this list, this. That. I would like to try against that because it
Yeah.
would be fun to see if I could crack that with this style list. But good game. Couldn't quite kill his general, but he killed mine, so I still won. But he got some points off me for sure. Always great to play John. I'm actually kind of glad that I wasn't in contention for anything because I got to have the most relaxed game 5, with just hanging out with a good friend that I don't see too often. So yeah, and in my event 3-2, I am thrilled. Let's not call it the hardest path to victory, but there were some well fought games, and some great fun that was had. And you can see here too in the picture, if you scroll back a little bit, the nice little cardboard at the bottom of John's armies.
Jeez.
So next up is Neil. Neil versus Cole. So little Photoshop edit here because Neil didn't grab a picture of it because of reasons.
There are reasons. Yeah, I decided not to take pictures of this game. So going into this game, I'm 2-2. Cole's 1-3. Cole is not having a good event.
No.
with these with this Empire army. And so we started it out, and it was this mission was the one that's diagonal deployment, and it's very close. It's 9 inches apart, right?
Oh, okay.
So
very close.
he wants to get his charge off. He's got his White Wolf Knights, big old block of them, everything kind of right in the middle. Now I've won first turn, I think every game. I think I got first turn in every game. First turn is when you're within striking distance of a charge is pretty awesome. Okay. Now I've played 4 games of these sisters really doing fuck all. You can beat that one out if you need to.
No. Okay. You can say fuck now. It's fine.
They've done nothing. The whole strategy that I built around them, all the points I put in them, have fallen down during this event. So that needs to be reworked. However, as it turns out, against toughness 3 knights with high armor, if you roll a lot of 6s against them, you'll disappear their units real fast.
Right.
So I took the first turn. I took out half a unit of knights with the sisters on the first round of shooting.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness.
He also had his knights on the line, and I only had 1 sky cutter on the line as well because I was worried he would win the turn and then charge into me, then overrun, and away we'd go, right? Yeah. So I decided, like, that's a big unit of knights. But with Elven charging, the max 3 on the initiative plus Elven reflexes, I'm going to get at least the impact hits, and I'm going to get the guys on top. And it's just 3 guys, strength 4 attacks, and a negative AP 1 because the cavalry spears, right?
Yeah.
All right, so it's not a lot, but guess what was in that unit within charging distance? It was his level 4 wizard.
Level 4 wizard,
yeah.
Oh,
no.
The only one he had in his army.
Yeah.
So I'm like, Leroy Jenkins, let's go. And so he countercharges. That unit can countercharge. I go in, and I do just enough to kill his wizard. Right? He fluffs rolls and only puts 2 wounds onto the sky cutter.
Oh no!
Now he's stuck. And so then he attacks. I think he winds up killing that in the next round, but can't move anywhere. I wind up like casting, or something happens to where I cast the Tempest spell right in front of his unit.
No.
So I think he winds up overrunning, but has to go through and then now he's rolling 1s on guys to disappear out of this hugely expensive unit. My dragon's over there taking care of an entire, like, his general in his what do you call them? The griffin, little griffin guys.
Demigriff Knights, yeah. Yeah,
Demigriff Knights. And he just keeps moving up, and I just keep moving back, shooting with the sisters. He's kind of furious.
Yeah. He said
not really at me during this game. I hope not. But he's just like this game. Like, he's like, I'm done with this game. I've tried so hard to make Empire work. Like, I'm done. you know.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm not going to sit there and be like, oh, look at my dragon, and take a picture. I'm a dick, but I'm not that big of a dick. So game was over pretty darn quickly. We wound up shaking hands, and I took a max point victory. He killed a sky cutter. Yeah.
Gotcha. Well, I mean, shout out to Cole. Hopefully the match play god and FAQ brings him back. We see some good stuff, or they just make Empire great again. But Neil, one half to another. High five for 3 and 2, baby.
Yeah.
Boom. There it is. All right. Well, Alex, Goblin
all right.
King.
So my last game was against Brad.
Yes.
The
preeminence of our club. I'm not here to try. Who goes always wins events. Yeah.
Yep.
Anyway, we're gonna get that out there. I love you, Brad. I love you, Brad.
Brad is awesome.
Brad is
we
fantastic.
all love Brad. Brad is great. But Brad does have a reputation for bringing a fun list that then is as good as most competitive lists, like high-level competitive lists, right?
Right. And I think I heard you say you did something very bad, and you told him to try.
I did tell him to try.
That was your mistake.
So FYI, well, I want to so going into this event, I want to get 3-2, right? And I want to earn those 3-2. I don't want to just get a 3-2, right? I want to and by the way, the 2 games that he lost, he did not try.
Well, no,
according to him.
So he drew round 1. And within 5 seconds of him meeting his opponent, he was talking about how he was not here to win the event, and he was not trying to win. Like he was doing his spiel, and I'm just like rolling my eyes. I love you, Brad.
Yes, and the reality is, he according to him telling me, some of the games he actually did not try. Like, hey, I'm going to give you a soft game. You come charge me, blah blah.
Which
blah,
maybe it's the case. I didn't watch his games.
Right.
He's got a tough army. I'm not going to deny that.
But so his army is just a big unit of Minotaurs with a big fighty general Minotaur hero who is very tanky. 3 units of 4 Dragon Ogres, 2 hero chariots, I think, and then 2 regular chariots. So, and this is the deployment where it's 18 inches, right? So this is probably the worst scenario for me.
Oh, sure.
Right? Because the way my army works is I throw things at you, and while also doing some magic and shooting you. And if you kill all the things that I throw at you, and I only have 3 units of goblins left, and I also expand my fanatics. So usually by turn 3-4, if I haven't killed 80% of your army, and you have things that can kill me in combat, I lose.
Sure.
Right? That's the way my army works, which works great against certain armies, works not so great
against mine every time.
It works great against yours, right? So it's very matchup dependent. So in this game, I could have played better, arguably. I could have put my army more further back, right? To give myself an extra turn of shooting. But after playing game 1 and deploying too close to the edge, I was like, I don't want to know. When I lost against Abe, I was in the mindset that I shouldn't put my army so far back. He charges me, I give ground, touch the border, and explode. Because that's how the rules work, right? So I'm like, okay, I can't be that defensive. So I put myself not right on the line. I prevented him from being able to charge turn 1. I got the first turn, which was not what I wanted to do. I wanted to give him first turn. But regardless, everything else worked phenomenal for me, right? So outside of deploying potentially slightly better, my Doom Divers are hitting. I'm getting the charges off with my Squigs where I need to charge. My spells, I think he didn't have any of the spells. I got all of my spells off. When he's about to charge me, I position Fanatics in a way that he is not charging or charging and getting Fanatics to his combat. Through all that, so I threw everything. I would throw my 5 Squigs and a Mangler into a unit of Dragon Ogres, kill 2, and then he would kill both of them on his attacks back. So yeah, it's like throwing things at a stone wall, chipping it slightly, and then exploding.
Right.
And eventually, I actually killed more than half of his army. Right.
Oh, nice.
So like, I expanded all of my attacks. I threw the Squigs. I attacked first with them. I did magic stuff. At some point, I got his big unit of Minotaurs to -2 armor and -3 to their toughness with each nuisance and the Plague of Rust.
Nice. Okay.
I killed them with magic and shooting down to just the hero left. Did a couple of wounds to the hero. Like truly, I think I did like 1,200, 1,300 points of damage. Right. But after I ran out of all the offensive stuff, my Fanatics are out there, my Manglers are dead, Squigs are dead. I have like 1 Squig hero running around, and I just have the Goblins left. He charged me with the rest of his army, and then I lost.
Yeah. And by the way, just for everyone out there that thinks we love Brad.
Brad is great.
And by the way, he isn't bringing the hardest list possible. He finds gems and plays it perfectly when you ask him to.
Yeah.
So like we make the jokes, that's fine, but like Brad can bring the worst list possible and beat any one of us on almost any given day. So this isn't.
Brad is a great player.
You're right.
Yeah.
We make the jokes, make it fun, but like Brad's a great player and he pushes us when we ask him to, and he also plays very casual when we ask him to. So
yes.
Yeah. So
he truly is like, give me an army to play and tell me how you want it to be played. And I told him, play like you're trying to win.
Right.
Which was great. I made him think a few times, and it was great. And it was a good game. Like he tabled me, but I got like 1,200, 1,300 points. So it was good.
That's not bad. Yeah.
It's not bad. Still a major win for him. The most frustrating thing of it is we're talking after event chatting, and I'm just telling him like, hey, this was a hard matchup. I don't know how I would win. What would you do if I were me? And he's like, I don't know, maybe put yourself further back. And then we're talking about his list, and the most frustrating thing is he could make that list even better.
Oh, he can. And that's before the Arcane Journal. We were talking
before the Arcane Journal.
Spoilers. We're going to talk about the Arcane Journal later with I was talking with him last night. I'm like, Brad, you can make this so much worse. And he's like, I don't know if I want to. I'm like, bring one item. Yeah, that's fine.
So it was a great game. I learned a lot. And yeah, I honestly was even thinking about like, man, I want to challenge him and see how we play if we'd have more room to deploy, not so close.
Oh yeah, that'd be fun.
It's that list. So we'll see.
Cool. That's awesome. Okay. Well, I mean, hey, 2 and 3, still not bad. You ran into some tough opponents, freaking Bretonians everywhere. Are hard to get through. But yeah, good event for all of us. Couple 3 and 2s, couple 2 and 3s, or 1, 2 and 3, I should say. But
wow. Okay.
Just one. The non-elf player, everybody got 2 and 3.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
No, it's fine. It's fine because like I dodged you. Otherwise, that's a guaranteed win for you.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what I would do in some scenarios against you anyway. So. But anyway, here's some printed trophies for Brew Brawl. Obviously, they had Old World 40K, and by the shout out, War Games Live was there doing 40K.
Yeah.
And then Age of Sigmar, which Old World was bigger than Age of Sigmar in this case. So, hey, if you're from Pittsburgh and you pulled out to go to the other event, you're seen and we don't like you. Bad. All right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Dropped it like that.
You dropped it, Sigmar. You dropped it. And shout out to Abe here, winning the event in a Bretonian matchup. Got it. So he's got this trophy there. Shout out to him. It looks really good. And then also shout out to Alex. So there wasn't a painting award for skill, which Alex would have won anyway, outside of the commission painted Bretonian army potentially. But if you had a fully painted army, because painting wasn't required, there was a random raffle. Alex won it because it's a painting award, and Alex will always win it if he can.
It was actually really fun. I am most disappointed in one thing in the event, which is I went 2-3. I was hoping to go 3-2.
Right.
But I'm also most proud of staying up for 11 and a half hours.
Your army's
finishing
done.
The army the day before we left and getting technically the only painting award, even though it was
technically,
luck-based.
Yeah.
But technically, I was very happy to get some models to paint.
So the man got some Wolf Rider. Are they going in your Old World army, or are they going in?
I think they're going in my Old World army.
Okay.
I think they are.
All right, and what about these halfling? I thought you were going to go for the Krieg character, but you went for the halfling snipers? For fun? Just for fun?
I think just for fun, but I'm also debating because, in our club, doesn't really matter if model exactly was a wig. I'm thinking of using them in my Krieg kill team.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Yeah, just for fun, a sniper guy and a guy with food. Yeah, I don't think our club will mind.
No, not at all. But congrats to you. Congrats to Brad, who won 3 of the major prizes. And also shout out to John DeCoulos, who won Best Sports.
Well deserved.
He was my second choice after Matt. And to be fair, it was a hard decision. It's just the memorableness of that one battle with me and Matt is what swung it.
He was my first choice, and Terry was actually my second. It was up between Terry and Matt for my second. But Terry Duvall,
Terry Duvall, Terry.
He's just such a good guy, and he's welcome. He's welcome in the crowd anytime he wants to play us. He's just
100%. I'd love to play Terry again. But shout out to John who won that, and then he was looking at me and you. He's like, I don't want anything. Do you guys want anything? We're both like, Phoenix Guard. We don't have enough Phoenix Guard. And he went and grabbed it, and I was like, hey Neil, you know who needs it more? And you're like, yeah, Luke. Luke has no Phoenix Guard. Here you go, Luke. Here's freaking 30.
Yeah, that's my thing is like price support for Old World. I'm like, I got the 3D printer.
You don't need any.
I got the files I need. So I'm like, I'd love to have this stuff, but at the same time, like, I don't need it. So.
I look over at my 45 Phoenix Guard, which is one of my smallest units. And I'm like, yeah, I don't need these. It's fine. Just like give it to somebody who needs it. And shout out to Luke, the other high elf player. I think he went 1-4. He had a rough time, but he's also just playing what he has. And also, more shout out to him. He is the only person I know that's making Shadow Warriors work because that's what he has. So shout out to him.
I like it a lot.
Yeah. Shout out to Big M, by the way, for finishing underneath me at a 3 and 2.
By the way, so this is a throwback from was it a Sigmar event?
It was a Sigmar event where I beat Matt in game 4. Matt went and played the Ringer and somehow accumulated enough points to have the same exact record as me and be one higher. And in which he turned to the chat, LOL, and pointing at. So this was a nice little
revenge. Okay.
I will say though, Matt beat 2 high elf armies, lost to 1, lost to Chucks, but he beat another high elf army with a dragon again. So yeah,
that's cool. I'm actually excited to play this list of Matt's because he hasn't had much luck with dwarves when I previously played him 2 times. So I'm excited to see what he got.
Hey, if his army shoots up.
Was to a dwarf player that was by 300 points.
Wow.
Yeah. I think it was 600 to 300 because they couldn't take points off.
That's awesome. That's such a dwarf thing too.
Yeah. We're gonna spend 5 turns getting to each other and see what happens. I do have to laugh at that picture because Neil was 9th, Matt was 10th, and like he's like ha 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 ha. I'm like, I'm looking at this. I'm 8th. Like, listen. In this little area of Akron to Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh area, I'm the top high elf player, baby. We're crushing it. We're not gonna.
I don't know. I say I'm not as salty about that because you've never taken a picture specifically of my ranking and taunted me with it. So if you did that, then maybe next time I'll keep that in the back of my mind.
I have yet to play a high elf player in Old World, so maybe we'll grudge next event. Neil.
Sounds good.
But with that, we're gonna take another short break, come back and talk about our hobby and wrap up the show. All right, we're back from our short break, and I have to say I peeked my head out briefly, and the sun is out in force. So, Alex, you and I might get some grass cutting in today.
I'm hoping. I have a couple more hours I want to wait, and then I think I'll go for it.
I'd say another hour and a half if the sun stays out.
Sun's been out here all day, so you guys got nothing but clear skies coming your way.
That's what I love about Ohio. It tells me what the weather's going
to be. I can tell you your future.
Perfect. All right. Well, anyway, let's get the hobby wrapped up here. So, Alex.
Yes.
This looks like I only have the completed picture here, but the picture you sent me before this was white on these goblins here.
Wait, what's the question?
No, it's not a question. You sent me. I have a picture up of a completed goblin paint job.
Yes.
And the picture before this, which I forgot to grab, was all white. How long did this take you?
11 and a half hours.
Holy crap.
And we left Friday at 2, and I started painting Thursday around 2. We had a podcast recording with you that day.
Yep.
I had a client call that day, and I packed next morning, and I finished painting at about 1:30.
Oh my gosh.
Very, very close. 11 and a half hours. At one point, because I was sitting like this for so long, my elbows were hurting. Like, it doesn't happen from like painting. I had to go like on a treadmill and just some stretching. It was great. Actually, in hindsight, it was awesome. In the middle of it, I was like, do I really need to paint? This is stupid. Why is this not painting required? What am I doing?
No, but congratulations. That was a Herculean effort. I remember going to bed, seeing you painting, and waking up and seeing you finish painting not long before I woke up. I'm like, oh my god, this man.
It was rough. That's how I paint my armies. That's just how I get it done.
It's That's true. Yeah, a deadline works for you for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Neil,
Mhm.
secret army's been revealed. You 3D printed and fully built and based an entire Dark Elf army for someone that's not you.
Yeah.
Holy
And
crap.
I'm sitting here and I'm looking at it completely. I'm like, damn, that looks really nice. I'd like to have that.
Also, I have to say this is a
I
nice,
just,
nice crock pot you have here too, sir.
oh, is it hanging out in the back
It's
there?
it's in the bottom of the picture.
That's funny though. I could not bring myself to print that again for a long time. It's not gonna happen. So I think it's nice because all the files to print now, all I have to do is just put the resin in and hit the button. I don't have to make any of the files; they're all saved in there, so I can literally, reprint that entire army with very little trouble. But that's not gonna happen for a while. And just the thought of like gluing all those bits together again, yeah.
Well, I know you had the grandeur thought of doing Dark Elves next. Is that on hold for now?
It may be. It may be.
Okay. Just
I don't
enjoy
know.
what you got for a couple.
I've got a lot of thoughts on a lot of things, and I kind of want to see what the future brings a little bit first. I've even, I think what's next is maybe doing a little bit more on the orcs and goblins and getting those. I've got a lot of unpainted stuff there. So maybe print some more stuff out there. Maybe round out my high elves, I should say, a little bit more. And before we even think about doing anything else, so because I still got plenty to paint. This I don't know if you can see my picture right now, but I don't know if you have a picture of my full army up or not. But the Lothern Sea Guard unit I did finish, and that unit alone, I want to say probably took me start to finish, from the first paintbrush on, probably 8 hours.
Wow.
I want to say.
Okay.
For the batch painting and all that kind of stuff, it takes me forever. I don't know why. I don't know what the deal is, but like maybe it's just because it's high elves, just the detail and doing all the belts and then all the hair and then all the skin and then I've a couple times I've done some different layers on this and waiting for the Nuln Oil to dry. Oops, the Nuln Oil was too heavy. So like I don't know. So it was a lot for that unit. The shields alone, have to be finally, you got to go around the design of the dragon on there and everything. And so it's just like 3 different colors of water in the water, and like.
Oh, you just let it mix. It sits there for weeks,
Yeah. So that was a lot. And so me even thinking about like I've got a whole unit of spearmen that are never going to see the table unless the rules get better.
As of right now, yeah.
So I use my army of infamy that I put together. Anyway, so but yeah, that was my hobby.
I think it's good. Like Alex and you, like you put in a lot of painting effort for this event, and on top of just building this. There is no reason why you can't show like I'm gonna paint one unit, maybe like 5 to 10 guys just for fun. Like it's not resting on your laurels; it's enjoying a victory lap of your beautifully painted armies.
Right.
Just because you're not crazy and have way too much of a single army that you don't need to paint. All right, you don't need to go to that level. Just enjoy what you got for now, and then the spark will come eventually. You'll be like, let's start this army. Let's go.
Yeah. I think I've got a really nice model of that Stormweaver, which you've seen, and I think that's going to be my fun kind of sit down, spend some time on it. That and the Merworm is
fun. Yeah, I still haven't seen Merworm being used. So
I'm trying to play around with a list. It's going to have to be a list that I have to be comfortable losing.
Yeah,
actually.
Because a couple well-placed cannonballs take care of that thing real fast.
Actually, I was thinking, Alex, you and I were talking about a narrative game with dwarves versus high elves. I thought about taking Sea Guard, which is mostly shooting, with the Merworm instead.
Ooh, that's fun.
Give you a chance.
Fun lists.
It's that's not going to be a solid list. It's going to win. It's good, but no worries. I respect it. Enjoy a few models on your own pace now. With that for sure. So mine, I'll try and rapid fire because I have a little bit more. So, as always, I take trophies for my victories of my games. So on my mage, the only reason I was able to hold up against the dwarves is because I kept getting ethereal off. So, and also arcane or Fury of Cain to get extra attacks. So put a little dwarf quiver on the base of my archmage there. Tirathi on horse got her first trophy. By the constant tailing out of the Terrorgeist and zombies and holding up a whole entire flank with her unit without dying. So she got the vampire counts trophy there. And then my dragon got the orcs and goblins because of a long bomb perfect charge into the flank of some pig riders and just crushing them. So
Nice.
3 trophies, 3 wins to remember the events by. And then, by the way, the trophies aren't to. They're twofold. One, if I play Terry again, I'll bring this dragon just to be like, hey, this trophy's because I beat you last time. A little bit of smack talk, and also too, just to have good memories. Not more so the good memories than trying to rub it in someone's face that I beat them. That's fine because
both. A
little bit of both. More about the memories, because Terry could come back and smack this dragon back and kill him next time anyway. And then also painted up 5 silver helms that I had on the dock there. They were fun. Silver helms are easy to paint, and I needed to buy a few for a couple of kit bashes, so I had 5 extra in the box to spare that I wanted to use. So now I'm 25 of these bad boys in my army. And also a little lore master. Painting him up, so I have 2. Because I like having 2 of each character for some reason. That's a non-named character. So, quick paint job there. And I know both of you are wondering. You're already aware. You've seen it. But last night, I went over to a little weekend warrior at the club night.
Right.
And there was 3 of us there. And Brad was wanting to challenge me for the belt just to do it. Not necessarily if he cares to win, but like absolutely. So I brought my tournament list, he brought his tournament list, and Tom showed up with a new list. Still Wolves of the Sea, but had Dragon.
Okay.
Realized around 7:30 it's only the 3 of us. So I said 1v1v1, no triumph and treachery, belt match. Let's do it. Let's Brad wanted it. So here's deployments. We didn't use the full table, but we used a good portion of the table. So I'm there on the whole flank, and then Tom and Brad are kind of facing off against each other here. And I won't go into crazy amount of detail, but I also have to say is, I told Brad and Tom this, but if you 2 ever hear me say the words "last man standing," smack me in the mouth. So we started a little bit before 8, and we finished a little bit before 2 in the morning.
Jeez. That is ridiculous.
Yeah, like it was fun. Like we were eating food, like had a few drinks. We're relaxed. It wasn't like a trying to get through this game, but it was like we're getting tired. Our brains are melting. What was fun is I pushed up and I fled with my silver helms and my reavers, and my dragon princes were in the center just doing their own thing, and the dragon was off doing its own thing. And then when I went to rally, I failed both of those, so they almost ran off the board. Wow. So it actually worked out being in my favor because those 2 crashed and started fighting each other before I came back into it.
Fair. Yeah, that's fair.
And then I started doing some cheeky like runaways. I'm like, this is actually kind of working. Not always. Eventually, it's like, I'm tired. Like, just kill me, please. It came down. My dragon had 1 wound. Tom's had 3 or 4 left on it. And then Brad had a single chariot non-hero with 1 wound. He ran into me. Like it was a melee in the middle in the last turn. Tom eventually won it. Tom got the belt. So I can't even say I still have the belt. The belt has been moved again. It's in Tom's hand, but boy, but I was asked to bring out the tournament list one last time, so I did. Now it's officially deleted off my phone, so I can work on other different types of lists. But it was fun. It was a really good game. It was a marathon, but it was a really, really good time. So that's it. I trust me, I would have loved to have won that and added 2 trophies, for this, but what you gonna do? But hey, Alex, the belt, you gotta go to Tom. That belt's up for grabs now for you.
Well, not if it's another draw. I don't know.
That's true. Yeah. I almost told Brad that. So Alex played Tom before the event, and I think we mentioned it that Alex won, and Tom's like, hey, it's a draw. It's like, no.
I won by like 400, 500 points. Yeah. It was like a clear win.
Tom may have had a beer or 2 too many. But I did tell Brad during your game, I was like, hey, if he wins, call it a draw. He'll love it.
What did you say? Did he say that?
He just shrugged. I think Brad's brain was also kind of like melted at the end of that too. So
yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
Well, now I have to beat Tom.
You have to
Get
beat
that.
Tom?
I don't know if I'm kind of in the mood to play more narrative games. Not gonna lie.
Trust me, I know. I think he's bringing out his Nurgle list anyway for a while, just for fun. So,
Sure.
um, but yeah, I'm looking forward to list building in a more exciting world than just cavalry and dragons.
Yeah. Yeah.
How,
Very fair.
I guess to wrap it up, I just said what my piece is. I said probably Tracy and maybe Lothran. I'm actually almost done. Probably in a week or two, I'll have my custom kit bashed units ready for my Illyrian Arcane Journal army. Which, by the way, I forgot to bring it up. I'll bring it up next time. I retooled it, made it look pretty, thanks to the help of Neil.
Nice.
So it is. If you go to the old video, you can find the link to the new one. I just keep updating the link. But I'm excited to do, like I said, more narrative and fun play with Old World right now. So Neil, what are you looking forward to most with Old World right now?
I'm really looking forward to seeing what they do with the rules because I'm excited to kind of get back to list building in a different fashion.
Okay.
I would love to see a world where high elf infantry become a thing again.
Yeah.
Be awesome. Love to see some sword masters back on the table. Would love to see Phoenix Guard stomping around. You know, that's the high elves that I think we all know and love. And so yeah, we'll see. I've played enough games the Dragon now where it's time, I think, to try and see what I can get to work, if I can get it to work without a dragon.
Yeah.
I want that challenge in my life. So I don't know. We'll see what I can do with chariots. This is why I'm talking about kind of growing my high elf army, because maybe it's time to look at the woodsman lifts, the trace list, that kind of stuff. Maybe get some guys on some lion chariots. I've even been thinking about a Tyrannok chariot, and getting nobles on there. There can't be no killing blow on those guys, no monster slayer, no this slayer, no nothing of that, right?
Yep. Extra wounds, so, extra toughness, extra
7
armor.
wounds, right? So we'll see how it works. And then they just put them in a unit with 2 other, very cheap Tyrannok chariots as well, and just let them go ham. So I've been thinking about that, so
yeah.
That way you can't just be cannonballed off the field. So anyway, so I got plans, I got thoughts. Whether any of it's gonna come to fruition soon, I have no idea. So,
okay. Alex, what about you?
Eventually, most likely this summer, I would like to build up my goblin list to a 4K, 4,000 total.
Nice.
I probably have about almost 3,000 now. So I want to add some wolves. I want to add the wolf hero to do the ambusher thing.
Yep.
I want to build a goblin hero and a wyvern who is pretending to be an orc, but he's a goblin. So yeah, just some fun things to bring up for 4K. Maybe do a mega battle once I have it all painted. But there's no rush for it, so it's more of a long-term project.
Yeah, like I said, my only rush right now with my hobby is I have 13 models for my custom army. I have the 2 frogs, and I have the Daughters of Cain Underworld's warbands. And then we'll see when the made to order arrives. But I'm trying to clear off my desk for Grand Cathay.
That's right. That's right.
That remains to be seen, the cost, because I also have vacations coming up.
Sure.
So, maybe the Cathay gets delayed a little bit to recoup those funds. But still, I want to have all this done just in case it's like, you know what? I can build 1,000 points on a really modest budget with this. Hopefully the battalion box isn't too expensive. But yeah, so we'll see. But actually, in soon, I'm still planning. I need to do a Grand Cathay themed podcast here, so you two get ready for that. Once I get, it's all on me. Like I have to get my notes and everything and share it and be like,
sure.
Here we go.
We will listen and give feedback. We're good at that.
Pretty much. But yeah, I guess until next time, thank you both. It was nice to get both of you on the podcast at once. I know it's a mighty effort, but still, it's the Strength Hammer podcast in full. I love it. But
very good.
Yes. Until next time, Neil, I love you. Alex, you're handsome. And everybody else, stay Stormcast strong.
Go mow your lawns.